Hello. Hello. I am here in an incredibly hot room. This room is super hot. And I've had to shut the window because the neighbours are arguing with the back doors open. Well, I think they're arguing. They might just be having a heated discussion. Can't tell. So it gets hotter now. I haven't got a fan or anything. It's watch me burn stream, not watch the world burn stream. It's a bit of both. A little bit of both. I can unpin my I'm only burning my half. I think that was the quote. Was it I'm only burning my share or my half? I can't remember. I'm unpinning that now. Unpin. There we go. Let's just stick space debris on, which I was using to test the sound. Is it all working? We are here. Right, I've got some mods to play. I need to shut this drive up. With the Lemmings disc, probably. Oh, I need these. Better late than never. That's how it goes. Let's. I downloaded some mods. Let's stick the mods on. That's what I like to do at the start. Although this, yeah, this Amiga 600 is a bit weird actually because it doesn't auto mount the compact flash drive. Good day, one and all. Good day. Good day indeed. So we're going back to the shell, which is what my last video was about, like not using the shell very well. I don't know why, but you have to mount this compact flash drive on this Amiga 600. If you don't, it just doesn't appear. Is it going to appear now? Yeah, there it is. Down here. It doesn't auto mount. You have to, maybe you have to put it in your script or something, but this one just doesn't work. It does it on the 1200, but not on here. No, it doesn't. But I do have... Is Hippo Player going to pick that up? Do have some mods I downloaded. Get. Oh yeah, this is it. I'll play them right off the compact flash. That's a recipe for disaster, isn't it? I've called it... Watch the World Burn. There we go. It's quite a random selection of mods going on here. There's quite a few though. I got all those Joss ones because he was quite good. He or she, it's quite good. Yeah, you can throw the mount command in your startup sequence. Yeah, I thought it would have. There was an installer for the compact flash, and I used the same one on my Amiga 1200. On the 1200, it's done it automatically. On this one, it just hasn't done it. So I don't know why. But yeah, I do need to just chuck that in there somewhere. It's weird, you have to mount it and then you have to like go to it, otherwise it doesn't appear. But there you go. But it works. Totally works. Let's skip Space Debris because we've had that one a lot. Although it is good. It's like a classic Space Debris. Some of these are really random. Some of them are like very chiptune-y things. Oh, is this even going to play? Maybe it doesn't auto mount because it's Workbench 2.0 and it's automatic in newer versions of Workbench. Yeah, that's possibly it. Yeah, because it's Workbench 3 or 3.2 on the Amiga 1200 and that just works. But it was the same installer disk I used for it, I think, that came with the compact flash. But yeah, I could just chuck it in the startup sequence. Just haven't done it. But yeah, doesn't auto mount. Fail. No plug and play. No plug and play for you, compact flash. Oh, this is the latest version of Hippo as well, isn't it? Where is the... Here we go. Which is the one I want? This one? Probably. I do notice going from the 1200 now back to the 600. The 600 is definitely a bit more chuggy, but this 600 hasn't got any fast RAM in it, and the Amiga 1200 has. So this would be faster just if it happened to have fast RAM. So that's one of the reasons. Yeah, it just chugs a little bit more when you're moving stuff around. It is Workbench, an old version of Workbench. Whether that makes much of a difference, I'm not sure. Buenas tardes. But yeah, it's a little bit more chuggy. Just slightly more chuggy. But I like it. I have actually noticed it. I had to go at... well, we're going to play Lemmings on this, and that does slow down a little bit more on the 600 than it does on the 1200, even though it's technically not supposed to work on the 1200. And I was having to go at like see what games worked on it. I tried Cannon Fodder 2, and that's the same. It just chugs a little bit more in certain places. Don't you just drop the CF driver in your WB starter folder? Maybe, I just haven't tried anything yet with that. But yeah, you could put it in the... Is it startup sequence or user startup, whatever it's called? Yeah, startup I can't remember now. There's a startup sequence and there's a user startup. Can't remember. One of those two. It's like going back to the old school with auto exec bat, isn't it? But you've got to unremember all the auto exec bat and remember this. Yeah, no plug and play for you, Amiga. You never got plug and play. It never happened. It was just a little bit after its time. The Commodore went bust in 94, and I think plug and play really, for the PC anyway, turned up in 95 really, with Windows 95. And I think the Mac had it. The Mac had really had plug and play for quite a while. Since the 80s. Evening, Dave and chat. Good evening. We're going to listen to some mods on the Amiga 600. Yeah, at first I was thinking, oh, I'm not going to be able to play any mods on the Amiga 600 because it runs out of memory. But then I remembered, when I was trying to play mods on the Amiga 1200 with 2 meg of chip RAM, that was running Workbench 3.2, which sucks up more memory. And Workbench 2 doesn't suck up as much memory as the other one. So I'm probably doing all right for memory. See, I've got over a megabyte. No problem. I mean, I can't, like, load a 2 megabyte mod or whatever, but it's working. I do have these F and R keys that like to fall off a lot as well, which is not good. Don't know what it is. I think I don't know if the keys deformed when I retrobited it or something, but the F and R key don't really connect properly anymore. Woo, infinite memory. Yep. Megabyte. It's like too much memory. Amiga had auto-exec, which is plug and play, but it's more to do with memory management. Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, it wasn't plug and play. Was it really plug and play? I don't know. Some things you plug in and they do just work, but that's technically different to what plug and play was supposed to be, wasn't it? Plug and play was more of like the system knew how to configure the devices without you intervening at all. Including even downloading the driver itself on Windows 95. It's like, you just insert the thing, it knows it's been inserted, and it downloads the driver, installs it, and starts it working, and makes sure it doesn't conflict with anything else, which is pretty impressive stuff. I used to brag about my 512 kilobytes of RAM. Yeah, those were the days. It's like, hey man, I've got 512 kilobytes. Like, sucks to be you if you've got 64K. But no, 512 is nothing. I should finally upgrade my A500, add 8 megabytes of fast RAM and compact flash adapter. Also should add 2 megabytes of chip RAM because it would work in my motherboard, but too scared to solder and desolder things on the board. Yeah, I think the 2 megabytes of chip, I don't know, it depends what you're doing with the machine. It's not as useful as you think. Like, this has got the 2 megabytes of chip because that's the upgrade. When you upgrade it past 1, you just get 2 megabytes of chip. But you might find, certainly for games, you're not going to get any benefit. The fast RAM might make a bit of a difference. Certainly does to the Amiga 1200 because all the like programs are running out of the fast RAM once they boot that thing up. So basically every program is running at double speed, and then you've got the 1200 that's double speed, and then you've got the cache in the 60 out of 20 that's like, you know, making short loops in the code like loads faster. So the machine just feels a lot less chuggy, even though technically it's only double the speed. That one there I've got is way more than double the speed, depending on your application. If you're in a game, it's just about the same, really. Roughly the same. Even many Win plug and play, they had jumpers. Yeah, I think the jumpers went away eventually. I think they had. Did they not have jumpers to help you with configuring it in pre-plug and play systems? Because there was a bit of a crossover, wasn't there, where there was plug and play, but there was also people who didn't have plug and play. So you had to be able to install that system, that card or whatever, in both. So sometimes you'd have the jumpers and you'd have the plug and play, and it'd be like, I don't know. So and also Windows 95 had to deal with cards that weren't plug and play. So there was a horrible crossover there of like, that's hence the plug and play thing, because it was like you really weren't sure if it was going to work. Then one day my uncle said, how much RAM? Mine's got 20 megabytes. I shut up really quick. That would have been a PC then, would it? I've got 20 megabytes. You're like, what? 20 megabytes? I'm trying to remember what my first PC had. It might have been 16 megabytes, but it might have been 32. I'm not sure. It was probably 16. It was a Pentium. Well, it wasn't actually a Pentium. It might have been. It was like the Pentium 133-ish equivalent. I don't know what that would have come with. It probably would have come with 16 megabytes, I reckon. I can't believe they were saying that Windows 95 needed 4 megabytes of RAM as well. Like you'd run that with 4 megabytes of RAM, but I think they were basically saying you can start it with 4 megabytes of RAM, but it's completely useless. I want to use it for WHD load, and it needs at least 1 megabyte of chip RAM most of the time. Oh yeah, that's a good point. For people who use WHD load, I think that sucks a load of chip RAM. Well, all the chip RAMs. So yeah. I'm not sure how hard it is to get the 2 meg upgrade in that Amiga 500. I don't think it's too hard. They're quite easy to work on because they're all through-hole. The surface mount stuff in these is way harder to work with. Like, I just watched Banjo Gaioli today. He's building an Amiga 1200 up from parts on a brand new, like, modern motherboard. And he's having to solder all that, like, surface mount stuff. And it's like, it's just really difficult. Well, it's not really difficult. It's like... It is, basically. Some of it is. Those J-lead things that are in here, like on the RAM, are not easy to solder, but they're not designed to be hand-soldered, so that's the problem. The Atari 2600 had 128 bytes of RAM, so 512 kilobytes was a blessing. Yeah, was it 128 bytes? I thought it had more than that. I'm not sure. 128 bytes. That's all you needed back in the day. But you also, in the 2600 though, you got to remember, you also did have the ROM, so when you put a cartridge in, the stuff could run off the ROM, couldn't it? So some of these consoles where they didn't have very much RAM, they actually had more... Well, they got away with that because you were buying a ROM and the code could run off the ROM. So that they got away with that because of cartridge... well, because of cartridges, basically. But my motherboard supports to mod to 2 megabytes because it's a late A500 board. Yep. Yeah. So you maybe should mod it. Maybe you should mod it and get the 2 megabytes in. I think soldering the extra chips isn't that hard. Do you have to do a mod on the board? I can't remember what you have to do. 128 bytes luxury. It should have been cut down to 16 bytes. You paid double for the 32 byte model. Well, it was... wasn't it the Amiga designer who designed the 2600? Did he not design that? So you can blame him for it. You can blame the Amiga. I mean, he clearly knew he wanted more RAM, so, you know, the computer he designed was like, let's... In fact, he was, in those interviews, the reason why the A1000's got 256 kilobytes is not because he wanted 256 kilobytes, because Commodore didn't want to ship that much RAM because it was costing too much. But he knew that wasn't enough. And that's why they've all, like the original A1000, you basically have to have the memory expansion to make it work. To get it up to half a kilobyte, because yeah, you can boot Workbench in 256 kilobytes, but you don't have any memory left to do anything, so that's a bit of a problem. It certainly was a work system of some kind, but I think he was kidding though. 20 megabytes seems like a strange number knowing what I know today. Hey, you could have 20 megabytes. Could be. Evening all. Yeah, it could have been 20 megabytes. Because like the Amiga, you can just put any number you want in, really. Just add an extra megabyte and it can use it. So yeah, you can get really odd numbers. I mean, technically, what's the... Yeah, I suppose that one's got 10. Yeah, because the Amiga 1200, I've got 8 and a 2, so it's got 10. So that's a bit weird. This one's called World of Vodka. But yeah, it made me realise after watching all these computer chronicles, because I'm up to 95 now, I've just watched the Windows 95 launch, that one of the big deals of going from DOS to things like the Mac and even the Amiga was that you'd gone from a system that had like, you know, that DOS had 640k or whatever, and you could do a lot with it, to going to something like the Mac, which had got half a kilobyte, I think it was half a kilobyte, but a lot of that memory was getting sucked up by the OS to do all those fancy graphics. So really what it was is the computers were coming of age, and Apple and Commodore obviously were realizing that, you know, we should put loads of memory in and use some of it to do these graphical user interfaces. But by the time everybody saw that, they were like, yes, that's exactly what I want. I don't want DOS anymore. DOS they just put up with because all the stuff was on it for a while. And eventually it became, you know, graphical user interfaces just took over everything. But, you know, Apple, I don't think Apple invented it, but they certainly did popularize it by pushing out a computer that used it in a time when everyone was doing text. But then again, just a little bit later, Commodore did the same thing. They stuck out the Amiga. It took them all ages to get the same level of multitasking that the Amiga got, though. The Mac didn't get it till the next century, and the PC didn't get it till Windows 95, so that was 10 years after the Amiga. So it just took them quite a while to catch up, but that's the way it went. Evening, you have been noticed. I have noticed that you have been noticed as well. So that's like 2 levels deep. There's 2 megabyte module from I can't pronounce that. Lotharek for A500 Plus and A500 Rev A8 boards. And I want to do it by using that module. It's fairly cheap. Yeah, it probably would make it. It would make it a decent system. And if you put fast RAM in it and the 2 megabytes and you stuck a hard drive in it, the A500's as good as anything, really. In fact, it would be the same as this A600, but without loads of the incompatibilities that you get. Multitasking on Windows is like an elephant riding a unicycle. It's like, it's difficult, but when you see it, it's impressive. I read that somewhere. It is a bit like that, yeah. Because even Windows 95, I don't think it was properly multitasking. But they were working on Windows NT so early on, they just didn't ship it because they were trying to get it right. This is an acknowledgement of you noticing my letting him know that he has been noticed. I will also acknowledge that. Yeah, I will acknowledge your acknowledgement. Enough of that. It's gone too deep now. We've gone too deep. Yeah, this is very chiptune-y. Some of these things were like, oh yeah, look, 56k. See, look what you can do with 56k. You can do a tune like this. How cool is that? I know somewhere in this list the Project X music, isn't there? I'll get my coat. Yep. Get your coat, not your jacket. Let's put the big screen on, unless you want to look at Hippo Player. But on C64 it's like 2k. Yes! But yeah, it's I think one of the things that nowadays, because we've got so much memory, you kind of start to think like, well, if I only had half a megabyte, I wouldn't be able to do anything. But if I only had 64k, I wouldn't be able to do anything. But the truth is that, you know, these old systems did a lot with that memory. I mean, this is running in, well, with a megabyte, isn't it? I've booted up a full multitasking operating system, and I've got a music player running, and I've used 800 kilobytes of RAM to do all that, and all the disk drives are working, the lights are on and everything, compact flash is working. So, you know, and that's that's all been done in 800 kilobytes. So, and it could probably do it in less if you wanted to. And 56 kilobytes of that's been taken up by the mod itself, the music we're playing. You can do a lot with a small amount of memory. But nowadays, with all these like gigabytes of memory, it's amazing. My computer at work now has a level 3 cache that is the same size as the entire original Xbox's memory. So the so the amount of memory that was in the original Xbox, and that came out in 2001 or 2000. My level 3 cache that's built inside the CPU at my computer at work is now the same size as that memory. So in theory, you can run an Xbox original game now on that computer without actually using any external memory. It wouldn't really work like that, but you get the idea. The theory would be you wouldn't have to use any RAM. It could run it inside the processor. So that's a game from 20 years ago could run inside the processor. It's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. The whole of Super Mario Brothers was packed into a footprint smaller than a single screenshot it would take today. Definitely. Well, there's a lot of stuff. Like you take a 1080p screenshot. What is it? 4 megabytes. That's double the amount of memory I've got in this computer. So yeah. So one PNG is going to be more memory than I've got in this computer. 64K was enough to run GeoS on the C64. Yeah, it was. It's amazing, isn't it, that you could even do that? You didn't need a memory expansion for that, because I know they did have one, didn't they? Because the people who made that Sonic game, you needed the memory expansion for that. My PC has 32 gigabytes, and on a clean boot and loading a browser, 50% is in use. Yeah, and I think that brings a good point, because one thing that you got back in the day was this RAM disk. This thing. The RAM disk. And that's not a thing on computers anymore, is it, the RAM disk? And the reason is because technically Windows is doing a RAM disk all the time. You don't really have to copy stuff into the RAM disk and use it. If you load a file, it's technically RAM disked it, and if you load it again, it'll just pull it out of RAM. So in theory, like a lot of the computer, like nowadays, the usage of the memory is just as cache. It's just to stop you having to access the disk all the time. And just make the computer much more snappy. It's like you run a program, it takes 3 seconds to open, and you run it again and it takes half a second, and it's like, well, because it just pulled it out of RAM, because it just stuck it there. We have as much power as we need now for a very long time. We just need to learn to be economical with what we have again. Yeah, well, I think it depends. It depends on what you're doing, but for most like desktop applications, for a lot of desktop applications, yeah, you've got way more power than you need. You probably actually need a lower power computer just so you're not, wasting energy. But for depending on the applications, certainly there's probably a lot of business things where you'd need more power, and you could always want more power. So there's that, say you're doing a bunch of calculations or something for a research project you're doing, and you've got something that takes 10 hours. Well, if your computer was twice as fast, it might take 5. So you'd always need more power. But for a lot of stuff that people do, you don't need any of that. You can do your accounting for your tax return at the end of the year in a spreadsheet, and a 1 gigahertz computer would be just fine for that, or even less. So you don't need anything crazy. Well, you get away with a lot less, really. I mean, there's probably spreadsheets for the Amiga. I've never seen one, though, but I bet you the spreadsheets for the Amiga can do it. It's crazy. No Trivial Pursuit this time. Mike and Clown World, no, there's no Trivial Pursuit this time. But now I know there's more questions. We could do it again in the future. There's other banks of questions, so we could have a go in the future. But I'm gonna carry on with Lemmings Mayhem and see if I can even get through a level now. That's going to be crazy. Hence the screenshot on this live stream. I actually have a RAM disk on my PC desktop. Do you? Is that like it's a convenient file swap area? So you must have installed a program for that, because there's no RAM disk itself built into Windows anymore, is there? You've got a program to do that. But technically, if you look at your task manager, you'll see Windows has something, what does it call it? Uncommitted or something? I can't remember, but you can see that it marks an area of RAM, and that'll probably be most of the RAM you're using as stuff it can flush if it wants to. And that's basically, it's using your memory as a RAM disk. It'll leave very little free. It'll just keep using as much as it can. But if you want to load a program that's enough memory, it'll flush some of that stuff. So there's quite a lot of good stuff going on under the hood in Windows to make your computer more snappy. With AI going the way it's going, that's what I call being economical with the power we have. AI can do your taxes in seconds, yeah. Well, that's the other reason why we don't need as much powerful desktop as well, is because there's probably a lot of stuff that's offloaded to like cloud computing, isn't there, as well? Like you send this thing off to be done by a cloud computer and you don't need that processing power anymore. But you'll still need quite a bit of power on your desktop for some stuff. But yeah, doing spreadsheets and stuff, you know, you can see from watching that Computer Chronicles, they go, here's a spreadsheet and we'll put a number in and it'll take, you know, 20 seconds to recalculate. But you don't expect that nowadays to watch a spreadsheet recalculate because you don't have anything that complicated anymore. Well, you don't have anything that's complicated enough to stress the computer that much. Is it the standby list? Let me have a look what it is. I'm on a Windows computer here, aren't I? So let's go to the task manager. And if I look at memory, so on this computer, this is a 16 gig computer. I'm using 9 gigabytes. It's got memory composition. What have we got? Yes, standby. Yeah, is that it? Memory that contains cache data and code that is not actively in use. So I've got 6 gigabytes of stuff that it can just flush, but it's actually using 9 gigabytes to do the stream, and plus whatever else I'm running. So yeah, it's saying there's 6.4 gigabytes available RAM, but it's using that RAM right now. Well, it might be using it. Oh yeah, it says cache 6.3 gigabytes. So it's using all of it. So my computer's using all the RAM. 16 gigabytes is like nothing nowadays, isn't it? So it's used all of the RAM, but technically it's got 6.5 gig of stuff that it can just throw away if it wants to. Pretty good. And what has it got? It doesn't really say anything else about what it's doing. Oh, plus there's memory in the GPU as well, isn't there? Oh yeah, of course. So this GPU's got 6 gig in it. 6 gig in the GPU. It's crazy. So what are you going to do? Oh, and it's even using the video encoder and stuff right now. There you go. That's what you want. The problem with cloud anything is you no longer have any privacy or ownership. That is, well, you've got ownership, but not necessarily privacy. If you create something, it's technically yours. Someone doesn't own it because you stored it on OneDrive. But privacy, yeah, that's the problem. But you know, in theory, I don't know. Would it matter that much? You can encrypt stuff before you put it on OneDrive or whatever. If you were that paranoid. Did I miss one there? There's ways to use RAM disk on modern computers through third-party utilities, but not built in like in Workbench. Yep. Because like I said, I don't think it's as necessary anymore as it used to be. You've kind of got the clipboard. I mean, technically the clipboard, if you look at it in Workbench, is probably going into the RAM disk, isn't it? I'm still running 2nd gen Intel Sandy Bridge 4-core 4-thread, about 10 years old, overclocked. Have changed the thermal paste, and it's still fine, is it? It's like still good enough for a lot of tasks. I've got this thing constantly on called Intelligent Standby List Cleaner. No idea what it does, but I'm told it makes this a bit faster in certain tasks. Yeah, I don't know what that would be doing. 2700K. Yeah, I would just leave it to Windows, to be honest. I think they'll be improving that kind of stuff all the time, and I actually think they've done a pretty good job of it. So just having and using a smartphone removes half your privacy. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Because people were asking me, like, is WhatsApp, is it... They're saying, is it secure? And it's like, well, they say it's secure. And that's all I know. So they say it's end-to-end encrypted, but I've got no way of verifying that because it's not my platform, is it? So how can I verify that you can or can't read someone's WhatsApp message, or snoop it? Like, there's no way unless you actually tried it. So I don't know if there's any third parties that have actually tried to snoop the messages. But I assume the encryption's pretty good. But again, it's just an assumption. I don't really know. Were you talking to me then? I left the room for a second. I was I was talking about the intelligent standby list cleaner. I was saying that you should probably leave it up to Windows. Let Windows deal with it. That's what I was saying. Yeah, leave the standby list cleaning to Windows. I would leave it up to the Windows. I think the Windows kernel and stuff, the like under the hood Windows stuff's really good. It's pretty well done. But everything over the top, like when they change all the menus and all that stuff, that's a different matter. But the Windows kernel probably works pretty well. It has to, otherwise the whole system would be unstable, like the older versions of Windows and DOS and all that kind of stuff. It's very hard to actually take Windows down nowadays with a bad program. It's quite difficult. Whereas with the Amiga, oh no, you have no problem with that. It's got unprotected memory. If one of these programs, Hippo Player can just take the whole system down if it wants to. I'm still running a 7700K with a 3800 Ti and I still get 60 frames per second with ray tracing in Cyberpunk 2077. Well, some people didn't get any FPS in Cyberpunk, did they? Was it just the bugs in the game? There's a problem with that. I haven't had to do a complete reinstall since about 2016. And I was a Windows noob then. I don't think I've ever reinstalled Windows in this decade or last decade. Not because of any problem or anything. No, I've never had. Have I ever done that back in the day where Windows has become so corrupted? I think back in the day, if you'd get like a Windows system that you've upgraded and it was Windows this and you upgraded it to Windows that, those systems never were that stable. But actually, that said, my Windows 11 here is an upgrade from Windows 10. It runs fine. I had more problems where I upgraded the BIOS in my laptop and then it just kept turning itself off, like literally just shutting down. And then they upgraded the BIOS again and it fixed it. So I'm more wary of BIOS upgrades now than anything. Runs good for 4K and 1440p gaming, which is more GPU. 1080p gaming, CPU holds back the GPU. Yeah, I've got my computer that I've got, my desktop is... I've got a 1440p monitor and then I realised my GPU and stuff is not good enough for 1440p, so you do everything in 1080 anyway. Oh, I had adware all over Steam and it was a nightmare. Well, that's a different problem, isn't it? Yeah, it's a different problem. Oh, look, Project X is coming up next, but we're probably going to have to play Lemmings. Otherwise, we're in danger of never doing a level, because these are going to be hard. Right, when we get back to this, we've got the Project X music going. Can we envisage a world in which Commodore won? No. Not possible, because they were idiots. Not the engineers, the company. I think I asked Dave Haney that question on YouTube, actually, on one of his YouTube videos, on his channel, and he said there was never any world where Commodore would win because the management were idiots. What would a 2023 high-end Amiga look like? Well, I could tell you right now, it would look like a PC. That's exactly what it would look like. Hi, Sherlock. I would reinstall Win9X several times a year due to issues. Yeah, the original Windows 95 was not very stable. It was better under NT, but still required a yearly reinstall up to Windows 7. Yeah, when I started one of my first jobs in computing stuff, it was about Windows 95 era. Some people were using 95 and 98, and I refused to use it because it was so unstable. So I used Windows NT instead, which was Windows NT 4, which looked like Windows 95 from the user interface, but it was just way more stable. But loads of stuff didn't work. Because loads of programs just wouldn't work properly at the time. Like if you wanted to play a game, you couldn't do it on Windows NT, it just didn't work. But your computer didn't crash 10 times a day, which was nice. So, and now we're all using Windows NT, so I kind of clearly picked it as like, this is so much more stable than the old Windows. My current PC is i5 4690K, 8GB RAM, a 1080, still works great, but CPU is pretty old now, at least for new games. 8GB in 2014 was enough, but now it's a bottleneck. Yeah, I think 8GB is not enough nowadays. I think you need 16. I've got 16 on this laptop and it's absolutely fine. I'm streaming and playing games and stuff on it. This streaming is quite intensive for it. Let's have a look. Well, you heard it before. I'm actually using 9GB to do the streaming. 9GB, and it's using 17% of the CPU. It's using a bit of it's got an NVIDIA GPU actually in this, and that's helping out with the video encoding. It's a pretty fancy laptop actually. It's a Lenovo one, which were That was IBM's laptop division, wasn't it, that they bought? Lenovo always sounded like washing powder to me, though. Yeah, it's got a Ryzen 7 in this laptop, so I quite like it. I quite like it. But it gets super hot when it's doing all this stuff. Sitting here just chugging away, heating the room up. It's got 2 of those squirrel cage fans that are cooling it, and they get really dirty. They suck in loads of dirt. I see people buying these cheap laptops with 2 or 4 gigabytes of RAM to play Football Manager or whatever, spending 300 or 400 quid for this and that. I'm like, no, what are you doing? Yeah, those whatever they are, I don't even know. Those like cheapish laptops, you'll just hate them. That's the problem. It's like you'll buy them and you will hate using them and you will never use them. You'll be like, laptops are rubbish. You're like, no, you bought a terrible laptop and that's why it's rubbish. It'll be dead in a year. It probably won't be, because you won't use it because it's so bad. You'll turn it on and wait 15 minutes for it to boot. Everything will run like a dog, and then you'll be like, never turn it on again, and it'll work forever. Use Lenovo for cleaner clothes. Yeah, it's whiter than white. It's just funny that's the name, Lenovo. It just definitely sounds like washing powder. It's not washing powder, is it? Right, let's boot this baby up. Running unsupported versions of Windows and everything. Yep. The good news is now I'm on the Amiga 600. That level that has the broken music is not going to be broken. It will play correctly on the Amiga 600, which is so nice of it. That's if I haven't put the wrong disc in. That's the wrong disc, isn't it? It's the wrong disc. And there's my real disc that doesn't work. There's the cracked row. Yay, good old A600. Yeah, it's. I'm actually getting into it a bit because it's like this is mine, original Amiga. This is not an eBay purchase. This is mine, but I'm getting really back into using it because I've been using the 1200 so much. I've got to be fair. I do prefer the 1200 now. But I've kind of left this to one side because of the 1200, and I thought, well, I might as well use it because it's more compatible with a lot of these older games. And if I could just get some stuff installed on the hard disk or the SD card that I put in it, like Hippo Player, I can just use it for live streaming as well. So it's quite good. And it's so dinky. Little dinky computer. I do own an old laptop. SSD upgrade, RAM upgrade, helped 2 gigabytes to 4 gigabytes. Can only do 480p YouTube and simple 2D games. Oh, right. I bet the 4 gigabytes is the thing that's killing it nowadays, is it though? Unless you put like Windows 98 on it or something. I have a relative that bought that kind of laptop. 4 gigabytes, 2 core, 4 thread CPU. If Windows updates, then the whole laptop comes to a stop. It's like, yeah, I've got one down there. It's an 8 gigabyte. That's my old laptop. It's an 8 gigabyte machine. It's got a hybrid SSD in it, and it's got a 4-core AMD, I think, in it, maybe. Oh no, it's an Intel in that one, and it is unbelievably slow now. And that's got Windows 10 on it, and just unbelievable dog. You cannot use it at all. I think it needs a new hard drive, but even the battery's not working properly or anything. Remind me of the RAM you have in your 600. I just bought 8 meg flash RAM to go with the 1 meg expansion. I've just got the 1 meg expansion in the trapdoor. It's an Amiga kit one, I think. I've just got the 1 meg chip. I don't have any fast RAM. I know you have to install fast RAM by like clipping it over the CPU, don't you? But I'm not really as much. I don't like the sound of that. I don't like the sound of doing that. I mean, it's fine the way it is. I'm not going to do. If I want to do anything that needs fast RAM, I'll just use the Amiga 1200, I think. What's this? Celeron? Dual core Celeron? Do they even still do Celerons anymore? Oh, do you know what I've forgotten to do? I've forgotten to look up the code that I need. Oh, where is the picture? You're right. Where is the picture? I don't know. Is it lost? It's the thing hasn't synced with it, has it? There it is. Oh, you didn't get any picture there. I don't know why, but when it changed, when I rebooted, it decided it didn't want to pick the picture up. That might be the capture box that's doing that, not the. I don't think it's the OSSC because it was sending it to my monitor fine. What else have we got? Runs Windows 10 fine. What else have we got? Celeron dual core. Okay. They buy these things for Football Manager usually. They might as well buy a bloody Nintendo Switch. That's true, actually. Yeah, you'd be better off with a Nintendo Switch or any games console. Any games console would be fine. Or get the game on Xbox. Oh, there you go. And get the game on Xbox and save the money. There you go. Because the Xbox isn't... Well, the Xbox is 8 gig, isn't it? Even the Xbox One is 8 gigabytes of RAM. Although technically you don't get all of that to play games with. But it's still got 8 gigabytes of RAM in it. I just had to reinstall Windows 10 on a laptop and could not install MS Official. Win 10 could only use their image because it had drivers that weren't supported. I usually plead with these people, but they never. You can't really tell people. You just have to like let them suffer with it and just. But unfortunately, you know, you could make a reasonably big purchase for that. It's just you're throwing money down the toilet with buying this cheap computer. It's like spend an extra £200 and you'll be much happier. It's the same with bicycles because I ride bicycles and people ask me like, how much should I spend on a bicycle? And all I can say is like, don't spend probably less than, well, it depends what you're going to ride it, but don't go and buy the 80 quid Argos bike because it's going to be garbage. It's like, you need to spend at least 400 quid or something or more. But when you spend £80 on a bicycle, you're going to get an £80 bicycle, and it's going to have warped wheels and brakes that don't work, and it'll come pre-rusted, and it'll start falling apart very quickly. It's the same with the laptop, isn't it, really? I bought my laptop on sale 5 years ago. Keeps going. There you go. Any chance Dave can sing and dance for a few seconds and make it rain? I would really like that. I think it's going to rain tomorrow. There you go. I recently got force feedback wheel and pedals. It's the same with that. If it's less than 300 quid, it's probably garbage. Yeah, it's like a little piece of plastic with a metal thing through it, a metal spring in it. Right, I've got to find the code. So it's Lemmings Amiga codes. I'm going to search. Because we've got to get... I think I'm up to Mayhem level 2. That's what I'm up to. Is it new level you do? Right, let's see. I think that's what I'm up to. I don't know if I'm even going to get to a level because this live streaming is like just mostly talking, is it? Code for level 2 Mayhem. That is correct. Thank you. Thank you. What do I click? One player? Can't remember. Right, if it's that level with the broken music, it won't be broken, thanks to the Amiga 600. I don't know how that sounds broken on the 1200. That's really weird. Oh, it was this. I think we had a go at this last time and didn't do it. So I've got 10 lemmings that can die in this one. I think I've got this is one involves blowing a hole through the roof. The drive in this sounds a lot different to the Amiga 1200, but this one's got a converted PC drive in it. You probably can't hear it as much thanks to the microphone cutting it out. Right. Get ready for Mayhem. Right. How are we going to do this? Hey, the music. How are we going to do it? We've got 30 bridges. So, I don't know where I'm going to go with this one. I think they're going to... Are they going to be able to survive this drop, or should I build up to there? I'm not sure if they'll survive this drop. Let's try it. Oh, I haven't got any diggers. Let's build up to here. Uh-oh. I clicked the wrong thing. I was clicking the thing that I shouldn't have selected. Well, he definitely can't survive that fall then. A1200 CPU cache maybe broke the music. It's turned off when I play it, but it just does it anyway. So I don't know. I don't know why anything would break the music. The sound chips in all of the Amigas, as far as I'm aware, are all identical. So I don't know how they've managed to do something that screws the music up. Let's start this one again. You can just press escape, but don't we want to see them blow up? See, it starts to really chug there on the A600. That doesn't chug as much on the 1200. It still chugs though. It chugs. It's going to take a while. I haven't played Lemmings for a couple of weeks now. It's got to get back on the horse. Got to get back on the lemming horse. So I think I need to go to there. I think. Or should I try... Oh, maybe he'll... Do you think he'll land on that there? Let's let him go, see what he does. Right, he's okay. So 2 bridges is alright. So the question is, what happens next? This is a bit weird because you cannot dig here, so... I've got to kind of like build up there. I don't know. Maybe I don't want to be here. I'm not sure what's going on now. Let's just build. Let's just start building. Uh-oh. What just happened there? Oh, that was weird. There's a little divot there, and he built the bridge in it and then turned backwards. Oh my god. OMG. OMG. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be doing on this one. We'll find out. Right, we're okay there. Probably should have built this up here. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I've got 30 bridges to get up there though. I'm still using my Logitech G25 wheel and it's awesome. It's great playing driving games with a wheel, isn't it? It's just great. This hasn't gone well because now I can't... They're all going the wrong way. I thought he was going to build up to that. Let's even get this guy to turn back. He's turned back, but... Oh, did I click him? I actually clicked him. This has all gone wrong because these guys are in the wrong place now. If I build the bridge up to there... Ooh, I wonder if they're going to die. Okay, we're alright. We're okay, folks. Right, and I've got to blow a hole through the top. Right, so I think this is what I've got to do. Oh, it's going slow here. See, this doesn't chug like this on the 1200. Right. We're getting somewhere. Oh, the problem is when I get up there, I've got to make sure these guys don't murder themselves. Yeah, this is chugging. This doesn't chug on the 1200. No chuggery. But we've got to make do. We're on the A600. What is happening here? Is he going the right way? Oh my word! Oh my word! I think that's enough, isn't it? Let's see if I did it. I did it. I've done a level. Unbelievable. I got a G29 with a cute little gear stick. It was on sale and I could also pay monthly on it. There you go. Nice. Was it interest free? Probably Kickstart incompatibility or some weird edge case with the 6820 on the A1200 could have broke the music. I don't really know. Probably could find how they fixed in WHD load. Yeah, it's a bit weird, isn't it? Because the only difference really, because that's the A1200 with the cache turned off. So the differences are that it's got different ROMs in it and it's basically running at double the speed. So I don't know why running at double the speed would affect one of the samples in the music. It's really weird. Also, I have a Rift S and the overall feel and racing game is unreal. I guess that's the point of VR. Yep, I think it is. Can build a bridge between your heart and mind. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mind. I have a Rift S2. Needs fast RAM. Yes. Oh, that might be the other difference with the 1200. The 1200's got fast RAM in it. What if that's making any difference to something? Because that's... I don't know. I still don't know why that'd mess music up, but I suppose you can write code that can mess anything up. Animal activists have been informed about this channel and will be here soon. Yep, they will. Yep, they will. Nicely done. Thank you very much. I can hardly hear the bass line. It makes it sound weird. It's probably to do with the sound balancing at my end. Oh, really? Well, I can't hear the sound that you can hear. I've got my own... Like, I'm getting it through the speakers, but it is sending the sound directly out to the stream. Oh, this sounds awful. Sounds truly awful. Interest free, there you go, nice one. In fact, I was the only one who was interested in it. Pettit is mad at you now. It is. I mean, I only lost like a few. Like, considering this is Mayhem, not many have died, let's put it that way. Not many deaths. Right, it is hero time. 100% to be saved. And it's 1 minute. Let's have a quick look at it. We got 1 minute to do this. So we've got to save them all. What the devil? We've got to save them all. Right. Let's go quick. Oh no, I missed him. Oh, because I've only got one. Damn. Right, let's try that again. I think that's what I've got to do though. I've got to dig down that. Wait a minute. What happens when I get down here? Oh, that's okay. Unless it's... Oh, there's a trap there. OMG. This might be bad. How much is that lemming in the acid? Yes, exactly. How much is that lemming in the acid? This is definitely 100% level, isn't it? Yeah, 100%. 30 lemmings. It's hero time. So let's go. Whoops. Let's not do that. Whoops. This is a weird level, this one. Oh, let's get to this guy. Right, let's not build that too early. Oh, no, he's going over there. He can build a bridge back. OMG, that's wrong. So these guys are going to die here. Whoops. So that's no good. So maybe I've got to save one of these downward diggers to get down there. Or maybe I've got to send... Maybe I send them all over there and... I don't know what I'm going to do. But I definitely can't go over that, because that's bad news. Well, I got 70% in. It's not enough. It's not enough. It is not. So how am I going to do this? It's like I've got one of everything. That's really weird. Oh, they are saying it's hero time, so maybe we send one guy over there. He can go down there, climb up there, fall down there. He can build the bridge. Yeah, that's how I'm supposed to do it, I think. They gave me the clue. They gave me the clue, but I've got to... how's this going to work? I've got to click the second lemming here, like that. Oh no, I would have got a hero for doing that anyway. That's my hero. Oh, he's not going to make it over there before these guys get down here though, is he? Interesting. So I think what I do is I go with the downward digger first, and then that one lemming will walk past, and he's going to be the hero. No lemming must be harmed during the completion of this level. That is entirely true, but a lemming can be harmed in trying to find out how to complete this level. Right, here we go. This guy's the hero. Oh, but he's... these guys are going to get here first. This is no good. This is absolutely no good. No. No. Oh, he's... Oh, I didn't think of that. Oh, he's climbed over there. Oh, now he's going to... He'll get in, though, but not in 22 seconds. So I didn't even think about that. That's going to make that extremely difficult. Yes, I'm bad too. I like to play Pokemon. Oh, and that lemming has come jammed at the top of the screen, which is also not good. That is not good. This one's a weird one. This is a weird level. So, really, what I've got to do, I feel like I've got to get one bridge builder over there, but he's got to get there before everyone else, and I can't really stop them. So, how's that going to work? Use a blocker on the arrowy stuff and then undermine him. I could do. I mean, technically, I don't need a blocker there anyway, because if they all went down here, went back, I can build a little bridge up there, and they're all just stuck up there. But then everybody's stuck. Everybody is stuck then. Yeah, he's saying though that if you have a blocker and you dig the ground from underneath them, you can actually get rid of them. But that'll use one of my diggers. So it's interesting. I think I need one digger to go down there, but there's no way of doing that unless I can stop all the lemmings. I can either build a bridge over there or stop all the lemmings before they get there. Because there's too many coming at once. There's too many lemmings. Let's try... I don't know. Let's try... That little gap there's a bit annoying, isn't it? If that wasn't there, that'd be great. I'm not really sure. I feel like I'm going to end up doing the same thing here. Whoops, that's completely wrong though. Whoops. Because if these guys get in here, even if I used a bridge there, I can stop him. They kind of... Oh, I could climb one of them out. But he'd just climb over that and climb to his death. So that's a problem in itself as well. Yeah, because if I get them in here, they're kind of stuck. They are kind of stuck. Because you cannot dig through that. Like that. Jinx. Ah, lemming side. Yeah. Interesting. Right, I'm going to grab some more water. I'll be back in a second. I'll have a think about this level. Right, how the devil am I going to do this? How in the devil am I going to do it? I think the clue's in the name with the hero time. It's an acid bath, that's what we know. So yeah, even if I did put a... it's interesting. I think a blocker up there isn't going to help me because there's nothing really worth blocking. I see what you mean. You could block them down at the bottom. Yeah, that could work. I could block one down at the bottom and then... Oh, if I dug under it though. If I blocked somebody down here and then dug under him, that blocker would run away and then he could build a bridge over there and then they could all fall down there and they'd be fine. But I need to save the digger, the bridge builder, and then that just leaves the question of how do they get through this bit? How do they do it? Because I've only got one bridge. And if I use the downward diagonal digger here, I can't use him up there. Which is disappointing. And I can't dig through there because they'll die from that fall. It's crazy. There's a way to do it though. They've told me. There's a way to do it. I just don't know what it is. I just don't know. Oops, I'm pressing the wrong key. I mean, in theory, they can build out of here, but they'll die on the way anyway, won't they? Like, you could do that. Well, whoops, that's the wrong thing I clicked. Oh no, there's a lot of acid going on. But if I have them digging, like building a bridge out there like that, I can't put the bridge there to stop them from dying in that bit. Disney is a proud supporter of Lemmings side. Yeah, they were. They really were. Let's just check that I can dig through this. Maybe you can't even dig through this here, and that might answer a lot of questions. I don't know if this is weird, this platform here. Oh, it didn't even have enough time. Let him live a minute. He did. He survived. He survived. So yeah, there's some interesting stuff going on here. Oh no, I've missed it. See that I've completely missed it. But that gives me my one lemming up there. Let me just check that he can't dig down here, because I'm not... Oh, is he going to die from that? Yep. Whoops. Okay, everybody's dead. Oh, I love it when it says, I hope for your sake you nuked that level, but I didn't. I just made a complete botch of it. I expect he would have been crushed by a hidden piston. Yeah, there is a hidden piston on this level. That's also what's a bit of a problem. So I can get those guys down there. You know, so they will, technically, if it wasn't for the hidden piston, this is fine. This is absolutely fine. But I've used all my digging capabilities. So this is not fine. So really, what happens now? I can put the blocker in. So like the blocker would solve everything. But then I'll never get rid of the blocker because I've got no diggers left. Oops, and I forgot to make him a climber. So that's a problem. So I've double messed it up. It's a big stampy crusher, isn't it? Come on, nuke him. I had to remove the D from Isney before my chat would forward it. So they blocked the word Disney. Yeah, it's that. What was it? The White Wilderness. It's the White Wilderness documentary that they did where they probably killed a load of lemmings. They just made up. I mean, that's the reason that this game exists. Let's face it. So maybe I'm still on to. Am I still onto the right thing by getting this? Doing this here. Oops. Let's start that again. I'm gonna have to start using this escape key because there's too much of a wait while I have to watch all my lemmings die. There might be another piston. I don't think there's another piston. There's just one piston. Oh, just about made that. Right, he needs to be... See, I kind of feel like I could block here, but... no, that's not going to do it. I've just done the same thing I've done before, because I'm not exactly sure what to do. There's just one, I've confirmed that now. Yep, there is just one piston. But I don't know what to do about it. I mean, if the piston wasn't there, this level's easy, I think. You only got 1 minute anyway, so they've pretty much just got to walk there. They can't really stop. They can't really stop. If I could get through here without using one of these diggers... I can probably dig through that bottom bit and get past there. But that is an interesting problem. I wonder if it's something like... Do we have to let them all go except the last one? Like, I can let them all go there except the last one. And he can dig through? How does that help me though? That doesn't really help me. It saves me one digger. I mean, I can send one guy across. Like that. Oh, and this... One guy's got to dig down there. Oh, he missed it. Would this have worked? He would be digging across there. This guy hasn't got a brolly. And then he could dig down there. In the meantime, the guy digs across, can build a bridge back. Just, oh God. I think that's what I've got to do. This is really complicated. Can you bridge to the piston and then dig through the piston from the lower level? I've only got one bridge though, and I've got to get somebody down there in time to do it. That's my problem right now. Like, I can't stop these lemmings. They're on full release rate. So I cannot stop them. So I think it's all about the first guy is going to get... He's going to be able to float across. So he's going to go down there. As soon as he lands, he needs to dig down. Meanwhile, the last guy here has got to dig down there and dig across. Probably. I don't know what the timing is going to be like on this. Like this. Right, so he's going to go across and go down there. He's going to go through there. He will die though. That's the problem. But I can use the bridge to stop him from dying. So this guy is going to dig here. Like this. And I'm pausing it because now, this is the problem now. This guy has got to build this bridge here. So, good luck with that. Wait a minute. Oh, but there's only 27 seconds left. Is this enough time? Oh my word. Look at the time limit. It's crazy. Oh my word. I've got 7 seconds. He got in after the 0. The last guy went in after the 0. There's exactly enough time. I can't believe it. I think you need more time than that. They probably give you an extra second that they don't tell you about. Like, as the screen's fading out, they probably give you an extra second. Unless it's still counting after the time's gone through while the screen's fading out. I can't believe that. That's crazy. I had to pause the game like 4 times in the middle of that because it was so complicated. There you go. That's another one. Another one bites the dust. Woot. Or woo. Or whoa. Whoa. Woo. Great job. Anyway, that was a great job. Hey, I've done more than one level, which is amazing. Oh, it's another 100% and another 99 release rate. Oh no. Oh my word. Mayhem, eh? Some people just want to watch the world burn. Right, this is evil. What have I got? I've got 10 exploders. That's useful because that's not going to help me. They give me that just to annoy me, haven't they? This game needs a boot hole like cannon fodder. If it did keep track of every lemming you've ever killed, that would be pretty awesome. Right, I've only got 10. So this is probably where I've got to let them go as far as I can. And then we find out what happens. So I can... Oh Christ, I don't know what's going to go on here. Oh no. Oh no, what are you doing up there? What's happened? Why did it? Oh, he continued digging. That's probably where I've got to go. I think. Get through there, and this way. Fortuitous gameplay. They walk all the way to the spiderweb. Yep, they do. I wonder why they've given me exploders. That's just to spite me, isn't it? It's like, here, have some exploders. They're the one things you definitely can't use if you've got to save 100%. So yeah, it feels like it's 1, 2. Do they walk over that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I don't know. Oops, and I missed one. I completely missed it. Right, let's keep going though. Oh, I don't need to do one there. Oh, where are they going? I wonder if that would have worked. Nope. This is a complete mess. What a mess. If you do it that way, you'll not succeed. You need to be walking rightwards for the final drop. I don't know. I'm just doing it wherever I can. You've got to remember, if any lemming turns back, I probably also won't succeed. So I can't just like... I'm just going to have to dig where they appear. Otherwise, they'll turn back and die. I mean, you could try to get them through here like this. Oops, I'm on the wrong thing. Oh, let's just keep going. I mean, you could get them through here like this. Oh no, that's not really done anything, has it? So will they go over that? No. Let's just check they get stuck in there, because if you get stuck in there, that's not so bad. Oh no, they're going back. I think this way might have worked. If you go through there. I don't know. Whoop, it's gone the wrong way though. They've gone the wrong way again. Oh, that's not good. Bit of an explosion at the end. It's the way the web is angled. Yeah, I don't know. I've got a problem in that it's not necessarily where I want to go, it's where I'm ending up. Because I cannot not dig. Yeah, if I go 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know. Let's just keep clicking till we get something that works. Oh no! See, I'm just clicking him and he's gone that way. No! See, I want to get down there. Ooh, even if I did that. Probably need to go through there and then through... Yeah, it's like, how am I going to get down? Because I can't dig down, can I? It's like maybe it's like what you're saying is you've got to get through there and get... Yeah, it's annoying. I've got to do something. Got to do something. You have to use the angles. I know, but like, use them to do what? It's the problem is I've got to get through that bit there. And if I was in here, I could do it. You could go and dig through that. So getting in there would be good. So it feels like really what I should do is dig there, get into here, try and drop down without dying. So maybe I want to go that way. Let's try that. What have I got to lose apart from all of the lemmings? They'd get stuck in here, that'd be nice actually. So I did this. Oh, is he gonna die? Ah, one died. But that's probably the way to do it. I lost a lemming. How did I lose a lemming there? That was weird. You have to love the way they give you 10 exploders, seeing as you need 100%. Yeah, they're doing it just to spite you, aren't they? This is 99%. Was it 98? Ooh, I lost a couple. I didn't find out how they fixed the music in WHC, but I think they probably use older Kickstart for compatibility. So it's probably a Kickstart and compatibility. I would be surprised if it is. I would think that they haven't used any of the Kickstart ROMs. The only thing it could be is it's loaded wrong off the disc, and the 1200 has got problems with that because it's got this speedy. Well, it's just faster. So maybe they're just loading stuff off the disc faster than they expected. I don't know. Just weird that it happens on that one tune as well, not any of the others. If you had dropped into that bit from the web above while they were coming back from the right, you would have made it. Well, it was a bit of a panic, I'll be honest. It was a little bit of a panic. But I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to go down there, down there. This is good because I think they won't turn back. And then I can go through there, and then maybe that's all right. We'll see how this goes. Oh, except I was on the wrong thing. Didn't have it selected. Let's watch them all die, see how much it chugs. It's super chuggy. Let's try that again. This time I'll actually select the only thing I need to select at the start. Ridiculous. That's all I needed to do. I just forgot to do it. I mean, I suppose technically you could go down. You could go down a bit earlier, but I don't think it really makes any difference. I might do that if this doesn't work. Oh, damn it. How am I getting that one lemming going really high? Maybe I should go that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got loads. I can go down that section there. Damn it, that one lemming died. Damn. I can't read the comments while I'm playing this. It's gonna be death. Did I say I was gonna go through there? I am. I'm gonna go through here. Let's hope this works. Oh, come on. Oh no. Oh, is that it? Oh, he's gone back. Oh, this guy's gone back. Oh, for God's sake. So that was the problem with doing it that way. One of the guys turned back. And he's dead. Damn. If you dropped a bit from the web above while they come out, you would have made it. Yeah, I hope so. Re-enter from low altitude, that could work. It nearly worked. I just got a lemming that turned back. My old A500 with Kickstart 1.3 also had sound issues in Lemmings. Oh, really? That's weird. This is one of the two officially token approved routes. Yes, it is. I'm going to try this second route. I think that would have worked. I just don't know why I got a lemming turning back. It's just crazy amounts of clicking that you've got to do. I feel like when they get in there, they shouldn't go back, but they do go back. I think there's more to go wrong here, but let's try it. We gotta go quick. There we go. How's that? Has anybody turned back? Wow, the time limit's tight again, isn't it? Well, a whole 8 seconds to spare. Easy. There you go. Easy once you know how. It's the same with all these levels. It's technically a puzzle game, this, isn't it? So it's like easy once you know how. I suppose it's puzzle, but there's also a bit of like, sometimes there's like 16 things going on at once, and that's like the really hard part. Like that previous level where I kept pausing it, that was one of the ones where it's like, even once you knew what to do, you've got 5 things to do at once. Down, along, up, in that order. That's like the comments we get in here. Like, down, along, up, go left. Lemming 3 moves two bits to the left. And the dodgy disk drive. Right. So, oh, it's a 75%. In some ways, I think the ones where it's 100%, they're kind of a bit easier because it takes away any of the... there's a lot of the whole areas of like, oh, I could lose a lemming here to do this. It's kind of gone. It's like, I've got to save everyone. So there's less choices, if you know what I mean. So this one, you know, because I can actually kill some of them now, it actually gives me the choice of like which ones I want to save and which ones don't. What is this? Oh, bejeez. Oh, bejeez. Let's have a look at what they do. I've got a climber and a thing. I can do that. Uh-oh. Is this the music that was broken on the 1200? I can't remember now. Might be in this one. Oh, how am I going to do this? This guy's going to be the sacrificial lemming. Oh, I've only got 5 bridges. Oh, that's been built in the wrong place as well. Oh dear. Well, that's alright, because he still needs to block down here. Wait a minute, with 5 bridges, how the hell am I going to get up there? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got exactly the right number of bridges. Are you kidding me? I think this might have been the broken music. I can't remember now. Oh, wait a minute though. If I send... I need to send one guy over here. Where's he going that way? He's got to go over and block. At least one guy's got to block. I think they might die when they start falling off that as well. Oh no. That isn't what I wanted to do. Just murdered them all. I've murdered them all. I think that's the right way anyway. I mean, it's clear that you've got to get up there with blockers, because you couldn't do it any other way, could you? I don't know. I think you will need blockers. Yeah, it seems like that's why they've given it that you can kill some, so you can block. But they've probably given you exactly... This is one of these ones I think they've given you exactly the right amount of stuff you need to do everything. So you can't misclick. You can't misclick anything. No misclicks. Right. So this guy's going to build the first bridge. And he's going to go back and be a blocker. And we're going to send another guy over. And he's going to be a blocker on the other end. Oh no, I've got a block at both ends at the same time. I've really mistimed this quite badly. Oh, this is not good what I've just done. No, no. I've just made that. I'm trying to get it done quicker, so I made an absolute mess of that. Yeah, I put them on both ends of the map at the same time. I'm trying to save some time because it's 4 minutes. It seems like a lot, but it can start getting bad quite quickly. I saved too much time. Whoa. Big slowdown. If you had more bridges, you could build up by the fire pump. I probably could. And I think that's probably... Actually, it's a good question, actually. I was going to say you could have done that on one of the previous versions of this level, but this might be... a new level for Mayhem, I think. I'm not sure, because even though there's like quite a lot of levels, there's not as many unique levels. As in the background map changes, but they give you different stuff to do it with. Right, let's not botch it up. So he's going to block. So I'll start sending this guy over when he's coming back. Oh! Put a blocker in the middle of it. Whoops. Whoops. There's so much to do that I'm clicking the wrong thing now. It's the wrong click. That was the wrong click. I suppose, actually, I can get the other lemming. Ah, I didn't think of that. I can quicken this up a bit. Oops. Because this guy can go across here and block immediately. That solves a lot of problems. Because now whichever way this guy goes, it's fine. And he can block immediately. That saved loads of time. Right. So I've found a way to save a lot of time. These guys can start digging down here as well, can't they? Oh no! I didn't think he was going to walk over. He just... Right, I'm going to start again. That was a surprise. I thought he was going to walk back and he walked across. I wasn't ready for that. Is it possible to buy... Infrared what? Infrared what that work on Amigas these days? What? I don't know what that is. I don't know what you're talking about. Infrared mice. Oh. Right. I don't know actually. Probably not. I don't know. You can get probably not. Not sure. It would need power for the receiver though, wouldn't it? And where are you going to point the infrared? Or do you mean like, yeah, I don't know how that's going to work. I can't imagine that would work very well at all. Right. We're back to where we were. Except, that was quite good what I did there, because that would save me a lot of time if I can do that again. I made him build just about here. So let's see if this works. Now he turned back that time. I wasn't ready. Start digging some of these guys out. It might be one of these tight time limit times. Oh, I've made a mess of that. I think if you build a bridge there, though, it will turn back on the blocker. So I can build the bridge here. The blockers will turn the bridge around. I think. But if that bridge doesn't make it there... It did! OMG, look at that! He's not going to make it up! OMG. That's a bit unfortunate what I just did there. Well, it's better. I'm getting somewhere. Modern mice that work on Amigas. There's been a Kickstarter for Bluetooth tank mice. There has. I'm not sure if you can still get that. Can't you plug in the Microsoft? Can't you plug in the Microsoft, the old PS2 mouse, the non-ball mouse with an adapter? I'm not sure if you can do that. Oh, you can get a serial USB adapter as long as the mouse has PS2 compatibility. There you go. My Amiga mouse was absolutely knackered by about the 5th year I had it. I think this is actually my mouse, maybe, or at least one of the ones I had. They're actually, I know they do break, but these ones have been quite good actually. No amount of ball cleaning will fix it. They can get like distorted, can't they? And the optical things go a bit wrong. Yeah. The Kickstarter got completed and a large batch of the mice has been shipped. Some friends of mine has them. All right. Best way to know if a mouse has PS2 compatibility is if it came with a USB to PS2 adapter. Yeah, those old Microsoft, the original Microsoft mice all came with those. Which I've probably got one here. If I could ever find it. But yeah. Nowadays the buttons will die before the tracking fails, yeah. Not exactly modern, but you can use a PS2 to Amiga joystick port. Use the PS2 mouse with optical sensor. Oh, the IntelliMouse, that was it, yeah. It's time to begin calling them Mises. I see what you mean, Mises, yeah, I should have read it like that. Mises. It's like Mr. Mises. Let's try that again. Wheel Mises. Is that what you just said? That's a good point, actually. You can use a wheel mouse on the modern OS, can't you? So you should. I haven't tried that with Amiga, but it does work apparently. Oh no! Do you know what happened there? The ball mouse got stuck after just talking about it. The mouse didn't move down. Esports meaty wings. I can't even tell what you're saying now. Don't even know what you're saying. Right, I just got done by the ball mouse. The ball didn't move just then as I was moving down. So, whoops. Done in by the ball mouse. Right, that's okay. We got that bit done. Notice they didn't give me... Oh, they did give me enough of those to do that. Right, let's build him there. So I've got to be careful. He might walk right over that. Like that. Right, here we go. My last comment was silenced. What was it? You'll never know. Right, I think I've got a build here. Oh, is that going to be enough, bridge? Oh, that might not be enough. This is tricky. Oh, and they've all gone back that way. I say tricky, this is mayhem. Oh no, now I've got a problem. Because the next one goes up. And they're all gonna die. Oh no. I think I've made a mistake here. I'll have to start digging with this last guy here. I think. Oh, is this gonna be even... Oh no, I think I've made an absolute mess of this. I've kind of underestimated how hard this was going to be. Oh no, I think that's not good. Oh, they're all stuck here now. Oh, I lost them. Damn it. This is harder than I thought. Let's see what we won. I don't... Oh, he might not even make it to the bridge. Oh, they made it. Why couldn't he walk up that before? He got stuck on the other one. Oh, wait a minute. Do you know what? I just did it by 1%. I just did it. I was going to give up there as well because I thought I'd killed too many lemmings, but that was great. I should get an Amiga tank mouse, weirdly, but weirdly rare they became nowadays. Yeah, I've got 2 of them now. One of them's my original one, and another one came with some other computer or something. They're not. I suppose they're not the best mouse in the world, but this one's still working, so whatever. Links like to get yeeted by YouTube to do. You need to clean your balls. That's correct. Let's see if AI understands that. There's nothing like cleaning balls on mice. Yeah, you need to clean the ball and the runners as well. I didn't send a link. Mike says he did. You need to rearrange. You're working out how to get past the AI. I needed to rearrange the words. Wasn't even watching. Well done. Yeah, well, I wasn't sure I was going to do it, but I've done it. Too busy going on and about meesy weesies. Oh dear. Thanks, Retro JB. Thanks for the round of applause. I needed it. I didn't know I was going to do that. 1% though. That's enough. We're doing it by 1%. Those originals cost a crazy amount, but they will outlast us long after we go. I think they will. I'm pretty sure this ball mouse is just going to go on forever now. It's just going to go on forever. Yes, Joseph Phillips. Those originals do cost a crazy amount. Clean the shaft and the ball. That's it. You need to clean your balls and clean the shafts. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. What has happened? You can upgrade your tank mouse with a laser unit. Yeah, I think you can actually. Yeah, that's a good point. It's called a tank mouse for a reason. Right. Here we go. Right, this is another 100%er. 100%. 100%. This looks like... Is this a new level as well? Have we seen this one before? Don't know. But I've got 15 bridges, I can tell you that. They give me 10 exploders again. That's nice of them. 10 exploders might be just standard. You maybe have to change it like in the level. It's like if you wanted 10, you just got 10. So how's this going to work? I can go over there, build out of that, drop down here, and then I'm dead. Then I'm literally... I suppose you can go over there. I can't block. I'm dead. What other options have I got? I've got the options of, oh my word. OMG, how is this going to work? This one. Because I can't get through the steel. Interesting. This looks crazy. I suppose I can get over there and start digging down here and go to dig that way, get over there. That seems like the best way to go. But that's still going to kill a lot of lemmings. They've not given me any climbers. So how's that going to work? I'm not sure how to do this. Did anyone else see the tank mouse design when Tesla showed the Cybertruck? Yes! Build a bridge up to the arrow stuff from the right, then dig through it. Yeah, I could do. But then that'll get me going back that way. The problem's then this, though. The problem becomes how, like this thing. Because I can't let any lemmings die while we're going across here. So there's a problem. I think you've got to go around this way. Because like I said, going back there, I can get, if it was one lemming, I can take him over there, down there, through that, over here. But the problem is, how do I get one lemming to do that? Maybe I can. Let's try it. Maybe I can do it like this. Oh no, they've all turned back now. Oh no, what I could have done was this. Like that. There you go. And that would have kept them all over there except one. Something like that. No sideways diggers. Oh. Oh yeah, you've got a good point. I've got no sideways diggers. Oh yeah. That's a good point. That means we're definitely going around this way. Oh, saying that, I could build a bridge over it. I've got 15 bridges. I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 to get through there. I think you can do it. You've got to build a bridge over that. Go left and start, immediately stop, let one through again, yeah. Yeah, I think that's the way to go. I mean, you technically could go around this way, but you've got to get over there without letting the other lemmings go that way. Right, I'll be back in a second and then we'll see if that works. I think that's the way to do it. This is probably a massive mistake, but I've made a hot cup of tea. Whatever, you only live once, right? If I pass out in a minute, well, tell my story. Does anyone else think when he leaves it's to feed the prisoner in his basement? No, I don't have a basement. He's in the attic. Well, you mean the prisoner's been there since the last stream? Oh, I do now. The prisoner's the guy who only posts Wikipedia stuff. Or you just go in the sin bin for that. Apologies, that's if that guy is it. We had to have a ban on posting Wikipedia stuff, but then I do sometimes want people to post Wikipedia stuff if I want to know the answer to something. What happens with Wikipedia now? All the kids have Chat GPT. I don't know. That's a good question. They're all Chat GPTing. Chat GPT is technically pulling information from Wikipedia, though, isn't it? So it's a bit of both. Let's ask Chat GPT to solve level. I don't think it could. Is the prisoner Dave Pooh 1? Yes. Let's rewrite some wiki entries and mess it all up. What is going on here? Now it enters a magical place known as Nostalgia Land, where people wear rose-tinted glasses and talk about how everything was better in their day. Well, was everything better back in the day? That's a good question. Were some things better back in the day? That's a question. I don't know. I mean, some things technically were better in different... Well, I don't know. I can't think of one. What was better back in the day? Tell me. What was better? Were computers better? Was this Amiga better than a modern computer? No, it wasn't. Modern computers are better than this. This was good, but I don't know. What was better back in the day? It's very difficult to say, actually. I would say things have always generally improved. Sometimes things get worse, though, because especially environmental things get worse. Because we have to do things because they're more environmentally friendly, but they are worse than the way we used to do them. They're worse for you, but they're better for the environment. So, like this plastic water bottle is like slightly doesn't look very nice like it used to, and it's really thin because it's made out of recycled plastic. So it's a little bit brown and it's not as nice as it used to be. So that was better back in the day when we used to have nice clear plastic bottles, but now they're worse. So it's like things like that. It's like it's worse for a reason. Mobile phones weren't better. That's true. They were massive. They were horrible. They were expensive. I just get terrible info from GPT. Yeah, Skynet was better. My eyesight was better back in the day. There you go. That's true. My eyesight was better back in the day. ChatGPT solving levels on Lemmings. I asked it. It answered. What did it say? Did you ask it to solve this level? It's like it'll just say things like levels on Lemmings can all be quite tricky. You should really experiment with using the different. It says stuff like that. It's rubbish. I now live in America, and cars were better back in the day as they were twice the size. Yeah, that's another good thing. It's like, so say for instance, are electric cars better than petrol cars? Better for the environment? Yes. Are they faster? Maybe. Do they go longer distances? No. Can you fuel them up quicker than a petrol car? No, you can't. So is an electric car better than a petrol one? No. But is it better for the environment? Yes. So it's better and worse at the same time. Is it better for you? No, because you have to charge it and do all those things, and you have to look after it and all that kind of stuff. And when it sets on fire, you can't put it out, but you can't put a petrol car out anyway. When I moved to petrol gas, it was 89 cents a gallon. I just asked it to solve Mayhem level 3. I have no idea what level you're on, but it gave me very specific stuff. Oh, so it gave you probably a solution that someone else has posted. Here's a step-by-step solution to level 3. As soon as level starts, assign one lemming as a digger by selecting the digger skill. The digger will dig through to the wall on the left side. Once the digger reaches the bottom, assign him a builder. It's like builder skill. So it is actually telling you the answer. He will start building a staircase. While the build is working, assign the remaining lemmings as climbers. They can select... Oh, is this isn't Mayhem level 3 though, is it? Oh, it is Mayhem. Once the basher creates a hole, assign him as a climber, as a floater. That's enough now. We've seen enough. We've seen enough. I suppose the point is it's probably recited somebody's walkthrough solution to level 3. I'm scared of my job now. Ban ChatGPT. It's not gonna. The thing is though, ChatGPT is just a search engine. That's all it is. It's a search engine that can help you like phrase the stuff better. It can only find you the information that's already on the web. So in terms of people's jobs, if your job is to think, to create the information that either isn't on the web or to create that information and put it there, then it can't solve your problem. You find that once your job gets complex enough that most of your solutions are not on the web. And the ones that are, nobody really cares. It's like, oh, like, there was a simple solution to a simple problem and I looked it up on the web. But all the complex problems, you have to look them up yourself. Well, not look them up, make them up yourself. Okay, stopped. So yeah, it's just a search engine. It's just a nicer way of searching the net, as far as I can tell. It can do certain other things like compose you a song and stuff, but it can only do that from information that it got off the net. So if people like you are the kind of person who puts information on the net, you are feeding ChatGPT the information. So you're not creating anything new. That's the thing. I don't think it can really actually create anything. It can just take other people's stuff and use that. So there you go. ChatGPT wouldn't have made an electric car because it wouldn't have known what one was until someone put one on the internet. ChatGPT with an Elvis extension. I think it's pretty good though. It's just another way. I think it's just it might be in the future the way we search the web. And that might be the way we do it. You know, instead of actually asking for a thing and then searching the results out, it might just be that. Because if you think about it, the way we use Google right now has been the same since search engines were invented, which is like you type in a word and it finds everything that's related to that word, but it tries to rank them. So ChatGPT is just a new way of searching the web, and it might become the way we do it. It might do. Hasn't really. I've used it a little bit, but not a huge amount, to be honest. So I don't know. Might just be an addition to it. We'll see. The AI image stuff is quite good, but it's also a bit flawed as well. But you can spot it a mile away. I think that's the problem with it. If that gets better, some of it's quite interesting though. I think landscapes and things like that can be quite good. But when you see people, it's always like, that's an AI picture. Right, let's try and get this thing right where we get this lemming to turn back. So he's got to turn back, and then we do that. There we go. So we got one lemming to turn back. We've only got 3 minutes to do this. So it's quite a long walk. Oh, this could be... this might be a time limit problem. There's the loop in the music. It had a little stop. Right, is he gonna... Am I gonna build a second bridge? I think I do. Oh no! I didn't click it. Do you know what? The time limit's a real problem here. It's going to take quite a while to get around there. These lemmings are going to have to start coming around before that one's finished. Damn. Yeah, it seemed to be up to date rather than ChatGPT itself, which is cut off in September 21 according to its training material. Oh, right, okay. So you ask about you'd ask it about the Russian coup by Wagner, for example, and the Bing GPT will tell you all about it. ChatGPT can't do that. Oh, I've only used the Bing one. I haven't really used the chat one because I didn't want to create an account. Mark Stevenson, hi. Upgrading Amiga 1200 to 3.1. You're getting yourself up to 1990 2 or something, or 3 or 4, I can't remember. You're upgrading to 1993 technology. Right, let's go again, and this time let's not click the wrong stuff. Maybe going around this way is quicker, but I don't know how I'm going to do it without all the lemmings dying. Oh, there we go, that worked. ROMs are in. You're going to need them ROMs. Did you not go for 3.2? You went for 3.1? Good morrow. Good morrow to all and sundry. Right, can I do this with one bridge? I can do it with one bridge. Oh, wait a minute. Something I didn't think of here. That's death there, isn't it? Let's try it. Oh no. That's a problem. If I could build up to there... Oh no, Oh no. Oh no, indeed. We might have to go around this way. Let's give this another go. I broke them. What did you break? The ROMs. Got to fix that Amiga up. Let's go. I've got a funny feeling that maybe you can do it the way I'm doing, but the time limit might be too much. I don't know, but I can't think of another way to do it because I've got to save everyone. Tell you what I should do while this is like this. Like that. Right, I was thinking 15 bridges was a lot, now I'm thinking it's not. Oh, I might have built that. Yeah, that might be the right place to build that. So the question is here, what do we have to use? Like 2 bridges for this? So if I build up to there, he'll fall and he'll be alright. Oh, this time limit is looking really tight now. Where's he going to fall? He's alright, folks. So 9 bridges. I'm not liking the look of this. This is really... It's going to take... How long does it take the lemmings just to walk this far? I'm going to have to start them going very soon. Oh no, I'm hitting the ceiling there though, aren't I? Oh, maybe not. I'm alright. So this will work, but I might have had to have started sending them a lot sooner because I don't know if a minute's enough to get them in. Oh, you broke the legs off the ROMs. Oh, damn. Complete the level from the right side. Use builders and diggers. Well, I think I can complete it from the left. But it's a question of time. We'll find out in a second. But I can do that quicker now. If this doesn't work. Yikes. Yeah, yikes. You had to take the shield out. That's fine. Nice. Coolvin. Hey, Pooh. Hey. Time. Closing eyes. There's 26 seconds. It looks like I'm going to make it. Looks like I'm going to make it. I even had a couple of bridges to spare. Yes. Hey, I'm up to level 7. It's like, you rescued every lemming. It's like, yeah, you made me rescue every lemming. You made me do it. Well, that was good. I think when we did that, I think that level's been in before. I think you still go around the left on that one. Like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay me down. Yeah, well, that was troubled water, definitely. Right, well, we might quit there. We've done really well because we've done 2 to 7, but we'll have a look at this one and then we'll play some more mods. And then we'll see what the devil is this? Oh, how many did I have to save? I didn't look. I didn't look at all. Let's nuke him and just have a quick look how many we've got to save. It's nice to not have corrupted music though. Ooh, Lemmings. It is Lemmings. And it's on Mayhem as well. Because some people just want to watch the world burn. Oh, I didn't look at it again. Oh, there it is. 90%. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, is it that lemming's going to die? Yep, he's dead. So I've only got 4 of these to build across. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I run out. And there's no blockers. Okay. What am I going to do? Suppose I got to dig. Oh, I can dig down a bit and go across like that. Oh no! I still remember when this was just a demo in a magazine for a future release. Yeah, those were the days. Yeah. Well, they had demos after this came out though, didn't they? Because they did the Christmas Lemmings and did they do 2 lots of demo games, which is basically the game but with just like 4 levels or something. We played the Christmas Lemmings at Christmas. It was quite good actually. Poles apart. Right, you can die. You can die. This guy's going to go a little bit of a dig down. Oh, and that's killed everyone. Maybe I should not do that. Let's have another quick go. Christmas demo was a mod though. Well, no, the Christmas demo was the full. You didn't need to mod the game. You just put it in. You could play like 4 levels or something. It was just like a few levels. And technically it was a mod, yeah. It wasn't the... It was still the game, wasn't it? But they had Christmas puddings and stuff like that. I know what you mean. It was kind of a mod. It was a mod done by the developers. It was like a standalone game. Right. This might end up being next week's problem. Let's see if we can get this. Oh, nope. I think that's got to be the way to do it, because, like, I can't see. You got to leave like a pixel gap or something. It's got to be that. Let's give it another quick go. Yeah, the days of the cover disc. Yeah, they're gone now, aren't they? In fact, you don't really even get demo versions of games anymore, do they? They used to do demo versions on Xbox Live, but I don't think they do that anymore. Yeah, demo versions of games are just like gone. They're just gone. Right, let's try again. Oh, that might be the way to do it. Although that didn't work. So, what happens now? That is quite a difficult one, actually. I don't know what to do there. Because digging that way, he just stops digging. There are still demo games on PSN, not many though. Yeah, it's interesting. It's like the whole concept of a demo's gone away. It's like you're either buying a game or it's like free to play, and there doesn't seem to be anything in between. Demo is kind of like the half, well, because everything was like, there was nothing free to play, was there really, back in the day? I think that's a thing that's got better actually. People talk about, we were talking about, was anything better back in the day? Back in the day, games were expensive and there was nothing free to play. Now you can get a computer and you can like flick through a list of like thousands of games that you can play with just paying nothing for them. It's an amazing time to play games. The problem is now you don't have enough time to play them all. Short-sighted move, canning demos, I reckon. People don't want to know if they're going to like a game before they spend money on it. Yeah, and I suppose that's where free-to-play kind of works, because free-to-play is really finding out if you like the game before you spend money on it. And when they do free-to-play, it means that you have to like the game. They have to make you like it, because if you don't, you won't spend the money on it. So in a way, free-to-play kind of works from that point of view. But then they kind of, the problem is that sometimes they get you to pay even more money than you would have ever spent on the game in the first place. But some people like that kind of thing. They are not gone, they're just only download. Nintendo and PlayStation still have them. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to check on Xbox Live though, because I definitely remember downloading demos on Xbox Live, but I don't know if they've stopped doing that and it's now just like there's no demo. You can watch the trailer and that's it. AAA Plus publishers are in trouble. Well, I don't think they are. Like Fortnite's made more money than all the other games in the universe put together, so I don't know. You torrent? Well, you're claiming to be a pirate. Say that Steam is doing Next Fest and are promoting demos. Oh, maybe Steam is doing it. Yeah, I didn't think about that. I just don't remember seeing demos a lot, so maybe they are still there. Indie devs are making demos, but AAA devs aren't doing it. Yeah, I suppose they just... It's because they don't need to. It's kind of like, look, the game's good, just buy it or forget about it. It's like... I don't have Xbox, so I don't say if they have demos too. They would die slowly but surely. There will always be a FIFA or Call of Duty putting off the inevitable. I don't know. People say that, talk about Call of Duty like, oh, we hate it, it's terrible. But then it sells more every single time they make it. So they've got to be doing something right. I'm not a particular fan of the game. I've played some of the single player in some of the games, which aren't particularly, I would say, amazing. But they must be doing something right. Whoops. Must be doing something right. How do you do this level, though? How does this level work? Oh, I know what you've got to do. I figured it out. I think. I have figured it out. You can do that one, and that one, and that one. And one more. And then the rest you've got to do something crazy. I don't know how I'm going to stop those guys from dying up there. This is what you've got to do. There you go. Oh, wait a minute though. I've only got one climber. So I haven't figured it out. Well, I've got rid of one of them. Maybe I can build a bridge over the first two. Yeah. Well, this might be next week's problem. Level 7. I think you might have to build a bridge over there, get into that, dig through 1, 2, 3, 4. You can climb up, dig through 1, that's 5. I don't know how you get the other one. All it takes is one bad Call of Duty. Oh, wait a minute, I've missed something. I torrent to, I pay for what I enjoy and uninstall what I don't, really. How is your disk drive, Dave? I put it in, but the disk drive pushes in now. How can I stop this? The disk drive pushes in. I don't know what you mean. Is this to do with you saying because of the shielding's gone? I don't know. It should still go in without the shielding in. I don't know what you mean. All it takes is one bad Call of Duty that does sell and they're up the creek. They seem to. I think they sell better every single time. I think franchises, people get bored of them. That's what happens. They never really make a bad one. People get bored of it and then stop. They lose interest in it and it goes away. So there's that. Isn't Call of Duty owned by Microsoft now? It's a Microsoft product now, isn't it? Totally is. Some AAA titles come out in open beta versions. So that's a sort of demo. Yeah, that's like early access or something, isn't it? But they don't all do that. They don't all do it. Enjoying the stream. Yeah. It's gone, but there's nothing to hold the drive, so it pushes in. I'm trying to remember. And this is an A1200. Oh, you've not taken the bottom shielding off, have you? There's nothing to hold the drive, so it pushes in. I don't remember that being a problem. I'd have to take my A1200 apart. But my drive's in there without the shield, so I don't know. I don't know why that would be a thing. I think the drive sits on the bottom shielding. You can't take the bottom shielding out. I think he means the drive slides in when he inserts the disc. The drive is loosely fixed. Yeah, there's a screw on the bottom that holds it in, and there's one inside that's holding it to the motherboard, unless there's a different design on yours or something. Yeah, is your drive attached with the brakes? That's what mine is. The Microsoft Blizzard Activision thing isn't finalized. Well, it's happening though, isn't it, I think? I think the Activision acquisition got held off due to concerns around monopoly. Oh, because they've got everything at that point. We've got Minecraft, we've got everything. Well, Sony own Lemmings, so they can do the Lemmings game on the PlayStation. So you've only removed the top shield. Okay, I don't know why it wouldn't work. Because I'm sure it's held in with a screw from underneath, isn't it? There's a screw underneath the Amiga that holds it in. You've not removed that one. Is there one or two? Hang on a minute. Get the 1200 out. There's these two. Can you see them? There's that one and that one. They're underneath the case. They're holding the floppy drive in. So you've not removed those, have you? So there's a mount on the inside. There's like a bracket on the inside. And there's two screws there. That's the underneath. It's hard to hold that thing up. I mean, it couldn't slide around if you've got those two in. Wouldn't be possible, would it? Unless you've taken them out. Thing that I don't like in modern AAA devs is that pretty much nearly all of them are sequels to a given franchise. And it's just like when AAA devs just like sometimes experiment with new IP. Yeah, and the reason for that is because when you're spending... if you're spending like 10 million developing a game, you need to be really, really sure that you're going to make the money back. And that's the reason why they're always like sequels, because a sequel will probably make money because they know that it's a popular franchise. But that's why indie devs can clean up, because indie devs can do something completely different, because they can't do a big franchise because they can't afford that. So they can take a risk on making a more weirder game. So yeah, AAA games are always going to be very similar to previous games and use franchises from previous games and be sequels to previous games. But there's nothing wrong with that, because the indie devs can just do the opposite. They can not use franchises, not do sequels, and they can make whatever game they want because they're putting a small amount of money in it. And those games can still be better than AAA games sometimes. It just depends. Like, look at Minecraft. Minecraft was started as a 4 kilobyte project. Starts out as a game that they released for free, then was a game where you paid £5 for every update for life, and now it's got 100 million players. So that's because they took a risk on a weird kind of game that people might not have played before. So you get the best of both worlds nowadays. So it's not a worse world to be in. It's a better one. Right now, we've got the best of everything. And there's no way back in the Amiga days you could have had these amazing games that had all this time put into them. It wouldn't have happened. My 3 1/4 inch floppy has let me down. 3 1/2 inch floppy, you mean? I have a Gotek, but as soon as I can get the parts, I have a project that will allow me to emulate 4 drives at once. That's living the dream. I had 2 back in the day, 2 real ones, but I never had 4. That would be amazing to emulate 4 drives at once. Today's indies will be tomorrow's AA's and the AAA's of the 2030s. Well, that can happen. I mean, that's what happened to Minecraft, isn't it? It's just an indie developer started as one person, ended up as 7 people, and then literally got sold to Microsoft for more money than... Was it more money than Star Wars got sold to Disney or something? It was insane. So that's amazing. And EA will be gone. I think EA have done some good stuff through the eras. And for people who like sports games, I mean, that's the place to go, isn't it? I mean, because I'm not a big sports game fan, but I mean, EA have been serving the sports fans for decades, haven't they? Real innovation has pretty much deserted AAA companies. It's sad, but that's where indies grow to become new AAA companies who may or not have the same corporate issues. Yeah, that's the problem. But that's the thing, is it hasn't excluded, I think just because those AAA games have got more of a presence, that doesn't mean that those other games don't still exist, which they do, and they're of much higher quality than we were back in the day. So there's a lot of games out there to play, and a lot of indie games that are really good. You just have to go out and look for them, because they're not going to spend any money on marketing. They won't have a marketing budget, so you have to go and find them. And that's why it might look like these other AAA games are the only games to play, but they're not. They're very popular and they're very good, but there's a lot of choice out there. You can make as much choice as you want about stuff. So if you want to go play a 2D platform game, there's probably loads of them on Steam, and I bet there's some really good ones. I bet you there's some good stuff. And what about Nintendo? They're technically making AAA games. Is Mario a AAA game now? Is it? Was it always a AAA game? Because Mario Mario, even back in the day, had a lot more work put into it than most platform games would have ever had back in those days. So technically, Mario has always been and always will be a AAA game. It's always been and always will be. I've got to mount my compact. I've got to mount my compact flash because it's disappeared again. Perhaps we should have fixed that. Oh, give me the workbench back. Oh, stop. Why is it in German? And stop. There we go. It was in German. Right, we can get the compact flash now. Where are the things? Where are we up to? Whoop, whoop. Here we go. Watch the world burn. That's where we're up to. We were up to Project X. We did get to play that one. Let's play it again. Where's Project X gone? Here it is. Bit of Project X. I wanted to play this the other day, and I put it in my Amiga 600. It doesn't work. It doesn't work on the Amiga 600. It loads up to the main game and just stops. Oh, that was my discs are broken. Crap. At least the indie scene is so big, so many great games to play, never enough time. Yeah, you could spend the rest of your life playing indie games. So I don't think there's anything to complain about. There's nothing wrong with there being those two types of games existing at the same time. Big corporate games that make a lot of money and have a well-known franchise. If it's a good game, it's just a good game, isn't it? And it's the same with the indie thing. You can go and scour through all these games, you know, on the Steam catalog and find the little hidden gems, the sleeper software or whatever they called it on Computer Chronicles. You know, you've got to remember Doom was basically an indie game at the end of the day. Only AAA title I was looking forward to was Command & Conquer 4. Wow, did EA mess that up for the franchise? The thing is that Amigas probably have multiple owners. Previous owners could have done things to the kill, so missing screws could be a thing. Those ADFs execute. I don't know what you're talking about. I always get mixed up with 5 1/4 and 3 1/2 inch floppies. Yeah, I don't have a 5 1/4 inch floppy. Nope, they're old school. You know, or they're too old school. I've got a 1541 too upstairs. I've got a folder specifically for tiny games that were built as homages to classic games from the 8-bit, 16-bit days. Yeah. Bedroom coders saved the industry back in the 80s, particularly outside the US. What's old is new again. Yeah, it's. I suppose it was like back then. I suppose there wasn't really such a concept of a AAA game. There were games that were taking a long time to make, but they weren't really. I suppose they were AAA or they weren't. I don't know, but they were all kind of indie because the games. Well, the computer wasn't complicated enough to make games that were that complicated, so you couldn't spend a long time on them because it wouldn't go anywhere. You know, I think what did they spend, like, was it a year making cannon fodder or something, like 4 people? But if you think about it, that technically by today's standards is a AAA game. Cannon fodder is technically a AAA game. Blazing Chrome as a homage to Contra. Some wonderful stuff out there. Yeah, it is a great time to be a game player. You can still play all the old games that you've not played. You can play all the indie games. You can play all the AAA games. There are free-to-play games that are better than anything you've ever seen. It's just crazy. You've got mobile gaming if you're into playing games on the train. It's just crazy. Compact flashcards are becoming really expensive. I've only bought this one, and that was ages ago. It was a 256 megabyte one. Disk drive is okay now. What, have you fixed it during the stream? Did you put the screws in? Did you put the screws in? Or did you not put the screws in underneath, or did you forget about those? What I want is for someone to make 60 FPS Chaos Engine. There you go. That's all I want for Christmas. I used Pro Tracker back in the day with a few mates at work to work a bassline because we didn't have the basses in the band. There you go. That's pretty cool. I'll have to get new 3.2 ROMs. Oh, because you blew your ROMs up. AAA only means published by a major publisher as far as I'm aware. I think it just means a game that's expensive to make. I think that's all it means. That's probably all it ever means. Because technically Minecraft's probably now a AAA game, but it was built as an indie game. So I don't know. Not sure. I love Chaos Engine, one of the few games I've completed on a single life. There you go. You've put the screws in. Did you forget to put those screws in? There's only 3 screws holding that thing in, and you put one of them in. Oh my word. It pays to take photographs of things before you take it all apart, so you can remember how it's put back together. No, because its opposite number is indie, which just means independent, as in no major publisher. Yeah, I suppose that's technically what indie means, but I don't know if we've changed the meaning of it. But I mean, yeah, and you're clarifying that as major publisher, because even most indie games, well, indie games will have a publisher, so you have to having to clarify it as like it's a small game with a small publisher, and that really just means it's a small game, doesn't it? Because even well, actually, I think technically id published Doom as shareware, didn't they? And that was them self-publishing. So in theory, like Doom was just an indie game. Like they just put it out on discs and let shops sell it. So they published it themselves. But nowadays, if you publish something on Steam yourself, which you can do nowadays, you are technically self-publishing, and you are now an indie, because you know. Or does indie just mean you've self-funded the game? And that's it. So it's basically you funded it yourself and developed it, but it could still be sold and published to somebody else. So you could self-fund a game, develop it, and then sell it to Microsoft, and then they publish it, and it's still an indie game. Which is technically what happened with Minecraft, isn't it? It was self-funded, and then self-published, but now Microsoft own it. So AAA or indie? Cool, you got it fixed. You did. You got it fixed. Just remember to put the screws in. AAA just means, hello, I have a major publisher. Shareware was an awesome concept. Yeah, shareware was, and technically that's... Shareware's become free to play, hasn't it? Because in free to play you don't have to share it. All you have to do is share the link to it now. But in theory, free to play is what shareware is. Yeah, Doom was shareware. But they did have, when... it did publish through... Apogee or something, was it? What did they... I'm sure they published through them or something. Minecraft was indie. It stopped being that when it was bought by Microsoft. Chat GPT agrees with both of us. Major publisher and expensive to make. So there you go. But quite often the major publisher is the person putting up the money to fund it. Yeah. Wolf 3D was shareware. Ah, there you go. Doom 2 was published by GT Interactive. Indie developed, indie published, lots of choice. But yeah, ultimately, it doesn't really matter what you call it. Basically, there is a nice spread of games nowadays that range from, you know, free to play little things that people made in a day in their bedroom, all the way up to AAA games that have cost like 10 million and hundreds of people have worked on for years. And there's everything in between. So you have all the choices now, so there's never anything to be worried about. So AAA games aren't a problem, and neither are indie games. I don't think anybody in the AAA industry is like going, oh, we don't want indie games, they're terrible. They're like, they love it. They love indie games. They love it. And the good thing about indie games is that because the AAA games, because it's a big budget and they don't want to blow the budget, they don't want to blow the budget on a game that, well, you know, you don't want to spend $10 million on something that's not going to sell. But if somebody has already proved like that a really weird experimental kind of game, something like Minecraft, which is like placing bricks in the world, if somebody can prove that a game like that is actually wanted by millions of people, then other companies are willing to make a game in that style and possibly make a better one. But that's why there's a lot of rinse and repeat in AAA, because nobody wants to take any risks. They want to make a game that they know will make the money back, because if you're putting 10 million into something, you want to get that money back. But it's really only the same problem with indies. They're just putting less money in. They might be putting in a year or 2 years of their life with no income, and then at the end of it they've got to sell that game and make that money back, and got to make years worth of money to make it worth it. So they're gambling just as much at the end of the day, but they're doing it with smaller amounts. They're gambling parts of their life. I think that's what happened with Minecraft originally. I think he got funded by, I think his wife funded for him to just sit in the loft and make Minecraft. So he was funded by his wife, basically. So she was the one taking the risk. Apogee released a huge number of shareware titles, yeah. I like horror walking sims. Well, I really want to play. Everyone will have to tell me if they think this, because these streams have mostly been about Amiga, but I want to play Dead Space on stream, because I think Dead Space, this is a thing, I think Dead Space is a modern game, it's an EA game, it's a AAA game, and it's an amazing game. So that's the thing, I think it's a truly amazing game, and it's been remade, and I'd be willing to spend the money to play it again just to get the better graphics. So that's a case of where, you know, nothing. AAA is not always evil. EA make a lot of stuff that I hate, but that game is brilliant, and I absolutely love it. And I've played through it twice on Xbox, I think, but I would play that through on stream. And that is like a modern-ish game, even though it's remade now. It's like 10 years old, is it now, or something? Because you said about horror walking sims. I don't know if Dead Space counts as that, because you pretty much can only walk in that, and it is a horror game. I put that small unit in for hard drive, but but the hard drive light's not flashing. I don't know. I don't know about that. Have you tried it with the normal cable? The normal cable will work, but the light will just be on all the time, I think. Sometimes they will consider 6 or 8 million sales a failure. I think a game that sold 6 or 8 million would never be a failure. It might be a financial failure, but to the developers who made it, it would not be a failure, especially if everybody loved it. When you're at the point when there are 6 or 8 million game sales isn't good enough, when you've gone too far. That is the good point, because you can throw lots and lots of money at a game, but quite often it doesn't make the game better. It can often make it worse. Are you wearing the universe? Yes, I am. Pretty much wearing the universe today, and it's got spaceships down the side. Well, you can't really see them, but it's got spaceships. So yes, Dead Space is awesome. Dead Space remake was good. There you go. So yeah, EA, the evil publisher EA, with the AAA evil game, and it's just one of my favourite games, really. I think it's a brilliant game. Dead Space isn't a walking sim. No, not really. Yeah, I know what you meant by walking sim, but yeah, it made me think of Dead Space. What's going on here? It's just frozen. Let's skip that one. But yeah, I don't know. I would play Dead Space on stream. It was EA from late 2000, early 2010s. I think it was the best modern era of EA. Mirror's Edge, Dead Space, and Mass Effect. Yeah. There you go. See, Mirror's Edge is a pretty crazy game to make. For stuff like that. And you know what? Aren't Ubisoft putting out loads of like indie style games as well? What was the one I played? Child of Light. It's like a 2D game. I played that Child of Light game. That's nothing like a AAA game. That's put out by Ubisoft, like one of the world's largest developers. By they, I mean the suits, not the devs. Yeah. If you're using an IDE converter, not all of them will flash the hard disk LED, won't they? Oh, mine does. I thought the whole point of that thing was to... Well, I know that the one that's specifically made to convert it is supposed to make it work, though, isn't it? Because it's got the little converter to make it work with the 5 volts. What is this one? I've heard this one before. Oh, there's the hippo. Definitely heard this one before. If you're using an SD or CF card adapter, the hard disk light will not always work on the A1200. The mod is needed on the adapter to make it work. Yeah, it depends which one you got. Like I said, I think that one I've got, which I can never remember the name of, is specifically designed to have the mod built into it and just works. I've got one in that and in this, and they both work. They really lost it around when they noticed FIFA Ultimate Team was making the mad cash. Yeah, that is one problem with the games industry, with these weird games that are basically turning into gambling and just getting people to spend thousands of pounds in there. That Ultimate Team was gambling as far as I could tell. Or they're gambling with the loot boxes and stuff. They need some legislation on that to stop that. It should be illegal, some of it. Child of Light was a great game. Love that game. There you go. And put out by put out by Ubisoft, like AAA game developer, and they're putting out a game like that. Music World of Amiga. What is it? Is that what I'm playing? I don't know. I just downloaded a load of random stuff. I play it for like 2 seconds on Mod Archive, and then I download it to see if it's any good. Yeah, I played Child of Light years ago on the Xbox 360, but there was stuff like that. I was playing it, like, this is weird. They're changing the name from EA Games to EA Entertainment. I just noticed that briefly the other day. All I can think is that they're doing to get around gambling legislation. Yeah, they might be. I don't know. We don't have gambling in our games. Yeah, right. Well, it's not is it gambling? That's the thing. It's like if you have games where you want to get something in the game, you want to buy it, but it's random what you'll get. Is that gambling, or is it only gambling when you can win money? Like technically, if they had, I suppose if you put legislation on it, you'd have to put the same legislation on those trading cards you buy in shops, where you go, here's 5 football cards, you don't know what's in it, pay £1 for it. It would be the same thing. It's not really gambling, is it? But it's like you're buying something that you might already have, and you don't know because they're not showing you what's inside the packet. So there's a bit of that going on. But if you did it on video games, it would happen to those real live cards as well. That song is from some demo on Amiga. Don't remember which demo. Yeah, I recognise that song. Hey, look! I downloaded some Lemmings. As if you weren't sick enough of this already. This is not the actual tune, though. This is one that somebody's done. EA would call it surprise mechanics. Surprise! And then you got a load of stuff that you did. I don't know, it's a bit weird. Random loot boxes I would consider gambling if I have to pay for them. Yeah, they're a bit weird, loot boxes. I don't think I've ever paid for loot boxes in a game, ever. Never have I done that. Yeah, I would never buy anything in a game where it's just you're going to get a random thing, and I never have. I never would, and I never have. But I know that there are people who've got very, what do you call it, addictive personalities, and they just can't resist it. And it's like you're selling them drugs, basically. They're like, oh, I need to get another pack to see if I get the thing, and then they don't get it. I see Zipstick in the background. Nice. I can't get one here locally. I use Competitive Pro as an alternative. Yeah, I used to have these back in the day, and these were really good. They were super robust and slightly uncomfortable, but this was the best joystick. Back in the day, there were some horrible joysticks, and this was the best one I found. And it's got the autofire on it, so it's quite good. This is the picture on my... This is the icon on my stream. This is my stream icon, and it's a picture of this joystick with the purple buttons. Oh! I got some more Lemmings tunes. Oh, in the hearing when the whole loot box thing blew up. Yeah, the loot boxes went a bit crazy, didn't it? Surprise mechanics. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? You got to realise there is a big separation here between game developers and the way these things are monetized, because game developers, they don't care about the money, they just want you to play the game. So they don't care as long as you're playing the game. Like, that's the thing, and it's the same with indie devs. They just want you to play the game and they want you to have fun. But it has to be monetized, otherwise, well, you can't eat. So, but then I suppose once a lot of people get involved who want to monetize that in these weird ways and they find out it's working, it just got out of hand, basically. It just got totally out of hand. Everyone was like, oh, we're selling more than we've ever sold before. We should do this more. And then before you know it, you're like, oh my God, what are we doing? Like, if you think about it, there was games that did it right. Like, I think GTA 5 did it right. In GTA 5, you just bought the money in the game, didn't you? And the money could just buy you stuff in the game. So you knew exactly what you were getting. If a car was $1 million in the game and you bought $1 million for £5, you could buy that car. You were buying that car in the game. There was never any like loot boxes as far as I'm aware. You could just use the money to buy whatever you wanted in the game and have fun with that stuff. So there was nothing wrong with what they were doing. And they did that years ago, but everyone else was just going crazy. Even Halo started doing it with those rec pack things in Halo 5, which you got from normal play, but it was so slow the rate that you got them, it was crazy. So it was basically rigged around you wanting to buy them. So even they did it. I'm not even sure if they're in... I don't think they are in Halo... I don't know. Halo Infinite's got stuff. You buy season passes in that now. And in season passes, you still have to earn the stuff. So they've changed it, basically. They have changed it. But Halo Infinite's now free to play. See, that's another thing. Halo's now free to play. Like the multiplayer, that's amazing. I used to play the new Crash Team Racing, and it took hours to unlock everything. But of course, you buy the coins to unlock everything. Yeah, that's one of the things they did. It was like, but you can just unlock everything just by playing the game. It's like, yes, you can unlock everything by playing the game for 600 million hours. So you're basically forced into buying the stuff. I prefer the arcade joystick from Suzo, best joystick. I'm not sure if these were the best joystick, but back in the day they were affordable and they worked quite well, and they're still quite good now. So I quite like them. I've got 2 of these, but the other one's really squeaky and I can't get rid of the squeak. I'd never had a purple one back in the day. It was yellow. I've got the yellow one upstairs. But they were very robust. I mean, I can't see this ever breaking, to be honest. These things will outlast us. Get the suits out of gaming. Well, you need the suits to help you make the money. So the game's got to make the money. But you just want the suits to help you make the money and not destroy the game doing it. It's very much like you've got to work together, basically. But some companies will just abuse that power. But obviously, you know, GTA 5's made a ton of money, and out of a game that's fun to play, I've played quite a lot of it, and they've done it in the right way. So I don't see what's wrong with doing it like that, and that game's still going. Let them find the next get-rich-quick scheme and leave my hobby alone. Yeah, I've got to say I'm not a huge fan of. I don't buy those kind of like these things in games where it's just like you buy some money or you buy a thing. I don't think I've ever done that in a game. I don't mind buying DLC where you're buying a whole story, but ultimately that amounts to the same thing, isn't it? You're buying something to use in the game. But if you ever like sell me the horse armor and stuff like that, I've never ever bought any of that. Never bought into it. So I bought games and I buy the DLC. Sometimes I buy the DLC. But I've never bought cosmetic stuff in a game ever, I think. It's not for me. But some people love it. I don't think I have. I'm trying to think of an instance where I bought something cosmetic in a game. I don't think I ever did. What do you think about emulation? Would you run Lemmings on RP4? I don't know what that is. What's RP4? I myself like to run software on real hardware. Spend a lot on real hardware. I think emulation is really cool, and I've not got a problem with it, because I think emulation is a great way to get back into this stuff without having all this junk. This junk was hard to fix. I mean, I spent a long time fixing all this stuff and getting it to work, and it still doesn't always work properly. I think emulation can be a much better way of doing it. And the fact that the Amiga emulation is so accurate nowadays, it's amazing. It emulates that horrible like noise that Lemmings does. That broken audio, it emulates that perfectly. Emulates the disk drives being broken. So I think emulation is brilliant. I mess about with the emulators quite a lot actually when I'm not. I just because I'm not in this room next to the Amiga sometimes I like mess about on the emulator just to see what it can do. I think emulation is brilliant. And I think it's amazing all the stuff that's been put into it. I think if you're looking at any modern Amiga games or any modern C64 games, there's absolutely no way they've been developed on real hardware. They have all been developed on emulators because it's faster and it's easier. So that's the other thing that emulation's giving you. It can give you new software for your old hardware that actually works. And you got more development cycles in and quicker development because you did it on that new stuff. Season passes are wonderful. Give us money for something we may or may not make years from now. I don't know, I think the season passes on Halo Infinite seem to be okay. I've not bought any, but they seem to be It's basically you buy a season pass and then you have to play the game to work through the season pass to get the stuff. And every season pass you buy, you can whenever you're playing the game, you can put the points you earn to any of the season passes you've already got. So the first season pass was free for everyone, I think. So yeah, you can basically choose what to put your time into in terms of I'm going to put it through to this season pass or not. But basically, they're not selling you anything. They're not selling you any random stuff. I think you can buy stuff in the store as well. You can just buy the skin for a tank or something. But they're not selling you anything random. There's nothing random about it. You know exactly what you'll get when you buy it, which is different to their last model, which was selling you stuff and you didn't know what you were going to get. I don't buy them either. I wouldn't. I did once cave in around the time when they were just starting to get silly. Stopped myself after I maxed out my character and cost me 30 quid. Well, that's the thing. The other thing you've got to remember is if the game is fun, there's nothing wrong with investing money in it, as long as you're investing money in something that you know you're getting it, which is fine. Like people spend like, you know, thousands possibly in Fortnite, but they get a lot of enjoyment out of that money they spent, so that's fine. But if you're investing money in like random stuff and then you don't get it, it's a bit rubbish. Oh, Raspberry Pi 4. Raspberry Pi 4. Yeah, I've got a bare metal C64 inside my old C64 up there. So my original case has got the bare metal C64 in that's running on a Raspberry Pi, and it's brilliant. When you've got it inside the actual case, it's very difficult to tell that it's not a real C64. It plays just like a real C64. It's got all the same sound and bugs and everything. The only real reason you can tell it's not a real C64 is because the video output's really good. So that's one of the problems with it. Not really a problem, but it's much better to go through that. And you can plug an Xbox joystick into it, and it's actually better than playing with an old joystick. Like, these things really hurt your hand, but the Xbox joystick doesn't. So, what am I going to say? I'm big on emulation. Yeah, I think it's cool. Less so now. Used to be, what, binge on it? Is that? Used to be, oh, huge on it. Right, used to be huge on it. Yeah, I don't need to emulate the Amigas as much because I've got so many of them. But I still do it because it's sometimes just more fun to do it on your computer. But yeah, it's difficult keeping this stuff working. So, and it can be expensive as well. So if you haven't got the money, emulate. I'm watching this on a Pi 4. Really? Is that true? Shows how long it's been since I cared about season passes. Emulation is really important to pretty much archive old games, software, computers, because it will be the time when real hardware will be impossible to fix. So that is true. Eventually, these Amigas will all be dead. There'll be one in a glass case in a museum somewhere, and that'll be it. It'll only be emulation at that point. You need to start emulating a system before they are all gone, because once they're all gone, you will never have the real thing to compare them against to know if you're emulating it correctly. So if there's no real Amiga out there, how would you really know if you're really emulating it correctly? You're just guessing at that point, aren't you? So there's still a bit of guesswork in emulation, but there's less guesswork when you say, oh, I ran this on the emulator. Like, that's the other thing. You've got to make sure that it doesn't work when it's not supposed to work, and that kind of thing. Still, I really like to play on real hardware with a CRT. But my intro to retro computers were emulators. Yeah, some people really like the CRT. That's another thing. I don't have any nostalgia for the CRTs because I just don't want them anymore. I don't like the big monitors sitting around. They used to be good because they used to be better than the flat panels, but I just prefer having a flat panel now. I don't have room for them and I don't want to repair them. So that's the kind of thing where technically, if you think about it, I'm emulating the CRT with the flat screen monitor, but I would never go as far as to plugging it back into a CRT. But some people love that. I know they do. And it gives you the real, like, full feeling of, like, you're actually playing it on the old CRT. But saying that, I bet you if I did play an old arcade game or something, it wouldn't be right on a flat panel, but still, I would enjoy it probably just as much. I'm actually developing an A1200. I'm actually developing on an A1200 using only the A1200. Even sound effects are being done with the DSS-8 for recording. Really? Well, you are crazy, but that's something you can do. See, if I was developing a game for the A1200 now, I would develop it purely on emulator, and I'd use as much PC hardware as I could to make it go better. Because you'll get a better product at the end and you'll probably work quicker. But if you're going to do it on the Amiga, you're going to do it for the fun of doing it on the Amiga. So there's nothing wrong with doing that as well. The trouble with the game where I paid 30 quid to max out the characters is that I'd already spent 60 quid on the game itself. That's a problem. That is the problem. It wasn't a free-to-play game then. Nostalgia, I love it. You do. It'll be Mark's Amiga with the dodgy disk drive behind the glass case. It might be. It might be. It's like, this is the only one we've got that's left that works. And it's because no one used it because the disk drive didn't work. Just have a good CRT shader on your modern screen. Yeah, I mean, I've got the OSSC. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but the OSSC has scanline emulation. So there's, I don't know if you can see that, but it's put. It might not be coming out on the stream, but it's put scanlines on, and you can go for. Is that slightly less scanlines? To me, it does look a bit more CRT-ish, but I'm not really into it, to be honest. So that's normal. And then that's the, I think that's the full CRT emulation. You even got a button for it on the front. Don't know what the sample sounds like, but yeah, that's with scanline emulation on it. But I imagine the live stream has ruined that. But yeah, that's scanlines. So I don't have the scanlines on, but there you go. But OSSC does scanlines. If you're into that kind of thing. Emulation is really important to pretty much archive old games. Oh, I've already read that. I've already read all that. CRT is great on original. CRT is great on original monitor hardware. CRT sucks when it's an effect for a flat screen. Yeah, I really don't like it on this. It doesn't do anything for me. Oh, so you can see it on the stream. I'll put it on. There is your scan lines. Do I feel more nostalgic now it's got the scan lines on? I don't think so. I think it's just making it look slightly dimmer. And then I can have slightly less scan lines. So it's just a little bit of scan line. So yeah, technically I'm not looking at this how I mean, back in the day, I used to do it on I had like a portable television that had a SCART input on it. And I used to use my Amiga on that. It probably looked terrible. But I always wanted better output. I think that was when you went back to the C64 and the output looked super terrible. That's what made the C64 look really dated. I like CRTs, but they need maintenance. Yeah, and they wear out, don't they? Power buttons need replacements. The flyback transformer needs replacement. Yeah, that's the other thing. The CRTs will all be dead. There isn't anybody making CRTs anymore. So there is going to come a time when all the CRTs are dead. So use them, use them while you've got them. When you do a CRT and LCD next to each other, all the old games look much better on the CRT. They probably do. Probably. Like a good CRT can be really good. The last CRT that I owned was one of those... I shouldn't have got rid of it. It broke and I just didn't fix it and got rid of it. What was it? It was one of those NEC multi-sync things that did like 1600 by whatever. It was amazing. That was the last CRT I had, but it weighed a ton and I hated moving it around. And then it broke. And I didn't want to get it fixed. So I think that went to recycling or whatever. But that was one of the last CRTs I had. And if I still had that now, that would have been a perfect thing for retro computers. But it went so many years ago. I've got scanline shaders per system with a monitor bezel around to cover the black bars. Each monitor is either a real monitor with a match with scanlines and colours in the shader. Or it's a Duimon Mega bezel. Oh right, okay. I've still got my CRT purely for light gun games. Yeah, that's another thing, light gun games. Yeah, I forgot about that. I never really liked light gun games back in the day. I remember playing like Operation Wolf in the arcade and that was a bit fun, but I wasn't really that fussed by light gun games. I never actually had the light gun. I think I played them at other people's houses. Never that into it really. Oh, it's a generic bezel with the logo of the emulated machine on it. Okay. I got a laugh when I saw someone emulate scanlines on a CRT. Yeah. I mean, technically, if you wanted to go like old school, you'd be using a CRT with or playing Doom and playing Even Quake I played on a CRT, so you know, I'd have to go back and play. It wasn't until, what was the first thing I got with flat panel? I think it was probably Xbox 360. Would it have been Xbox 360 or probably, yeah. Even Xbox original played on a CRT or a TV in that case. So it's funny to think original Halo, I would have played it on a CRT. Sony CRTs were the best, 1600 by 1200. Yeah, I think that was it. That NEC multi-sync that I had was 1600 by 1200, which you got to think, like, from the era it came from was insane. Like 1600 by 1200 for a 20-year-old whatever, it was insane. I think the NEC multi-syncs were like one of the best monitors out there. They could just do anything. But eventually it was like, at the time, flat panels were coming out for computers, but they had loads of latency. They were like blurry. They were low resolution. They just weren't as good, and the colors didn't look as good. So they weren't good for quite a long time. I think it took to like 2005 or later before they were better than CRTs. If I had the money, I certainly would have a CRT or two. Don't get me wrong. I still don't think I would. I think I can afford them. I don't have the space for them though. I still just don't think I'd have one. I just don't want to have to repair it or get it repaired. So, and I know they wear out, so I'm not into it. I think if I had an arcade machine though, I might consider getting a CRT in it and getting that instead of swapping it out for a flat panel. Because I think an arcade machine should have a CRT in it. But I don't know, because I haven't seen an arcade machine for so long, really. Not a proper one. I also have an NEC multi-sync monitor, but it broke. Yeah. And now doesn't have horizontal deflection. Yeah, I don't know what happened to mine. I bet it was just one of the caps went in mine or something, but it was a time before I would have even considered fixing something. I have to fix it finally, yeah. NEC multi-sync were the best. Yeah, I think they were. I've rescued 2 VGA CRTs from the side of the road. Way. If I found one, then I'd find it, wouldn't I? And of course I'd keep it. Oh yeah, that's another thing about CRTs. My first PC that I ever bought, the one that was a Pentium 133, did come with a monitor, and it was rubbish. It was, it was better than probably anything I had before, but even that, it was pretty rubbish. It was a cheap monitor that they bundled with this thing. It was a 14-inch monitor or something, or 15-inch, whatever they gave you back then. It might have been Daytech. I remember something like Daytech or something like that. So even that wasn't very good. So it was just like rubbishy monitors. I think I had a lot of experience of rubbishy CRTs because I could never afford a really good one. Apart from when I got that NEC one, then it broke and I had to move to flat panel after that. I do like my 1084 monitor mostly because I got it for free and in grey. You got a 1084 for free? How did you get that? Was that a long time ago when people were like chucking them out? Hi, how are you? I still have my 36-inch CRT for my Amstrad and Amiga. A 36-inch CRT? What, do you need like a truck to lift it or something? Good lord. That's great. There's a picture of John Carmack that you'll see if you search for John Carmack and Doom or whatever, and he's sitting in front of what must have been at the time the world's biggest flat screen CRT monitor. It is massive. I think it's widescreen as well. Good enough. CRTs are fairly cheap if you find somebody who just wants to get rid of it. Yeah, that would have been the case with me. I mean, I can't remember now, but I suspect that NEC went to recycling, and it probably could have been fixed. It probably didn't have much use on it either. So there you go. I watched the Computer Chronicles that's from 1994 or 1995. I can't remember, and they were talking about upgrading PCs and saying, what do you do with the old one? Well, you can take it to one of these places who recycle it or upcycle it to give it to schools and stuff. And in the building, there was a guy who was taking in old computers because people had replaced them. And he had a stack, like stacks and stacks of IBM 5150s, like the original IBM PC, and they were just stacks of them, and CRT monitors that go with them, and you're looking at it thinking, wow, that would be a treasure trove nowadays, but it was like 1994 and it was just junk. People were just like, get rid of this stuff, I want to get rid of it, and they would like, you know, fixing them up and giving them to schools, but they had a stack of 5150s. With HDR and all that, my modern screen is just great with the scanline shaders and the bezels. I'm really perfectly happy with it. I only get a CRT in exactly the right circumstances. Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like, if you're happy with it, you're happy with it. I'm happy with the OSSC's made more of a difference to me than anything else. But if you just had a CRT, you wouldn't need the OSSC at all, would you? You could just have a decent monitor. 1200 fixed. You fixed it during the stream. Congratulations. Save all your screws and remember where they go. It was Panasonic with the stand built in. Oh, right, okay. You'd have to have a stand built into something that big though, wouldn't you? It was only a few years back that I got it. Oh, the 1084. Still has great and crisp picture as most of any 1084s. It's missing the front door, yeah. But otherwise it's working almost like new. That's pretty cool. I mean, if somebody had offered me a 1084, I'd probably take it. But even then I'd be like, what am I going to do with this? Even then, you'd probably take it just to try and donate it to somebody who really wants it. And those were Philips monitors, weren't they? They were just Philips monitors that were branded by Commodore, as far as I'm aware. This sounds like a really small mod. Oh, it's 86 kilobyte mod. Hey, the Amiga 600's like doing the business here today. Who needs a 1200 when you got one of these? It's good enough to play Lemmings on. Yeah, it was Philips that made them. I thought it was, yeah. So it was like a rebrand. They put a little bit of extra circuitry in the Commodore one though, didn't they? And didn't they do something weird to center the... Did they do something weird to center the Commodore 64 properly? So they kind of tweaked it a bit so the Commodore 64 worked really well on it, wasn't it? Budbrain is my favourite demo. Will YouTube allow you to show it? I think we've had it on before. A long time ago, actually. When will this heat have mercy? Honestly, it's been exactly this hot for weeks now. I don't know. That's a good question. I haven't seen as much of it because I've been working in an office that's air conditioned, so I get a break from it for a while. But it can be a bit relentless. It's been like that today. It's just been like there's been no wind at all. It's just been hot, and just literally the air's been still. I opened the window before and just no breeze came through at all. This song is not very good. It's going another shitty tune. It says it there. Let's skip it then. Oh, composed in June 23 though. That was a modern tune. Oh, this one's like nearly a megabyte. Has this ruined all our memory? Where's our memory? Oh yeah, look, we've got 300 kilobytes left. We're going to run out of memory, people. We're going to run out of memory. Budbrain made 2 mega demos. One of them is not suited for YouTube. Yeah, I can't remember which one I did. One of them. I think it's becoming common, the heat. We need to get used to it. Well, we're going to have to. It's 24 degrees C where I am. Luckily... Oh, in the basement is cool. Top parts of the house are pretty moist. People don't understand that British struggle with the heat. I know it's hotter elsewhere, but they have aircon. Yeah, we have houses here that are incredibly old, like this one, and they are not equipped to deal with extreme cold or extreme heat. They're just not. We haven't built our houses properly, and we haven't bulldozed enough of them and built better ones. So we've got a lot of poor housing, and we haven't needed aircon before. You know, we just used to open the window, but now you open the window and it gets hotter. I've got a 1942, still works, the best Amiga monitor. I don't know which one that is. 1942. Not that anyone in the stats said anything about it, don't get me wrong. About the heat. Nope, they haven't. But I know what you mean. I'm still using my Link 4 upscaler with no lag. Oh well. Have you tested that though? With the I did the Turrican one with the slow-mo camera, and you can really see it. You can feel it when you're playing, but you can see it with the slow-mo camera. I come from the UK. I'm living in Canada. I bet you in Canada, they've built their houses properly, haven't they? Because in Canada you have hot summer and you have absolutely freezing cold winter. So I would bet you that you have a house that has been built properly. 40 quid Link 4. They just stuck loads of samples together on this one. It's a megabyte just 'cause it's got loads of speaking in it. Thank you for this episode, Dave2. I like you playing games on the original hardware. Thanks for this. Yes, I like it too. I mean, one of the reasons I do these live streams is because I fixed all these Amigas up, and I see a lot of YouTubers who are just like fixing Amigas and they're not using them. And I thought, well, we should actually use them. And this is a good excuse to use them. That's why I've got just this camera here. This one is just to show you the Amiga. It's just like, that's it. It's just say, look, it's real. This is what a real Amiga can do. There's no tricks up my sleeve. This is what Amigas can do. So yeah, it's an excuse to use it. I mean, this is my Amiga from back in the day, getting a second lease of life. I would never have imagined that when I was using this in the 90s, that in the 2020s, I'd be live streaming it and playing Lemmings on it. I just couldn't have imagined that. It's crazy, isn't it? Absolutely crazy. It's getting actually quite warm as well. That's something you don't get from emulation. That your Amiga is going to get warm. I emulate most Amiga games since my console broke last year. Well, there you go. This is the problem. You've got to keep this working. When this breaks, I may never be able to fix it. You just don't know what's going to happen. Somehow, weirdly, this hot weather really makes me remember when I first put my Amiga 500, pretty much making Amiga discs in 30-degree heat. Yeah. Canadian houses need to be built to resistance to the weather or else people start to die. Exactly. 3.1 Amiga, 1985 to 2016. Is that when 3.1 came out? Surely it came out back in the day, didn't it? Ooh, they've got some discordant stuff going on here. This is a 9K ROM. It sounds totally discordant. Bored on a summer night, so I made this. There you go, this has been made this... Whoa, it stopped. Had been made this month. This was in the new list in the mods on Mod Archive, so a lot of this stuff's new. Well, there you go, 3.1 Amiga. You got it. Yep, I live on a coast. Strong winds. Great during summer when it's warm breeze, not so much in the winter. You can guess where I'm going. Emulation does give you the disk drive noises though. And they're accurate to the actual disk they're running. Yeah, I've noticed that. You can turn on the disk drive noises in WinUAE, but I don't think it sounds anything like the drive. I really don't. I think it just something sounds really wrong about it. It doesn't sound like any of the drives I've got. But I don't know, maybe that's just how it works. What we need is AI to emulate the room that you're in, and then it'll be right. I'm not technically minded to fix it. I opened it, but it was looking like a tin of spaghetti and I had no idea. The Amiga was like a tin of spaghetti, really. The Amigas aren't very spaghetti inside. I think the PC's a bit worse for that. There's not much spaghetti in here. But yeah, if it's broke, it's broke. They can be hard to fix. They can be hard. Unless there was actually spaghetti inside, which is a different problem. Ask ChatGPT for accurate disk drive sound. I will. But I know they do make it so it makes the noises on the, you know, the changing of the stepper motor and stuff like that. You can run a version of RetroArch in VR. it puts you in your childhood bedroom and you're physically put the cartridge in and turn the TV on and stuff. That's weird. I use both Cloan 2's Commodore Fever suites these days. They had special lifetime upgrades. Couldn't pass out of laziness. Yeah, it's good, that kind of stuff. Like I said, I think emulation is just brilliant, and I think it's just so amazing how good it's got. Same thing with the old hard drives. I really like the sounds of the old hard drives, and there really isn't any way to emulate. Do you know what? That is one thing I miss, because my Amiga 600 I had back in the day had a hard drive in it. It was the first computer I had a hard drive. This isn't the one. I had two Amiga 600s. This one didn't have it. But yeah, that sound of turning it on and hearing the drive whir up. It's a great bit of nostalgia, but those things are just going to break, so I just don't want anything to do with it. I've still got the hard drive, but technically the SD card is the hard drive now. It's emulating it. But yeah, there's no sound for the hard drive. But it felt, your computer felt modern because when you turned it on, it made that hard drive sound, which is weird to think about it now, because if you turn on a computer now and it makes that whirring hard drive whining noise, that makes it sound old because computers don't have that anymore. But back in the day, that made your computer sound modern because you turned it on, it's like, oh, I can hear the hard drive spinning. Like your Commodore 64 was silent because it didn't have anything in it. So this was better because it made more noise. But that's a weird thing to think about, but the nostalgia sound is like, that's a more advanced, like your computer sounded more advanced. You know, getting the clicking of the drive when it's moving and stuff. But still, I don't think I want to go back to real hard drives either, to be honest. I'm happy that I've got the hard drive, or that it works, but I don't want to get a real one in there. AI needs to do our jobs so we can play Amiga games more. It might happen. I think some jobs might be taken by AI, but I don't know what so far. I use the Super Console X to emulate. I don't know what that is. I wasn't able to consistently get controllers other than the VR controllers to work though, so don't use it. Oh, is that the what do you call it? The VR thing. I got that Clone 2 3.1 hard drive. Doesn't Clone 2 own Amiga now? Clone 2 own everything. Well, they don't own all of it. They own all the ROMs prior to 3.2, don't they? So they don't own the actual OS or anything, but they own the old stuff. Clone 2 owns the Commodore rights to distro the Kickstart CBM Basic. Yeah, it's weird. It's been sold off to multiple people, isn't it? I use the WHD load ROMs, never the ADFs. There you go. There you go. 3.2 is Hyperion. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like you got two different companies making the stuff. It's weird. But hey, this has got a Commodore ROM in it, this one. Official Commodore ROM. Look. Look, where is it? Where's the you're not going to see it. Hang on. Look at that. Copyright 1985 to 1992. This is old school. Look how slow it is, the 1200. This on the 1200, this would be like way faster. The mouse is stuck there. There you go. 1992. That's how old my ROM is. It's still working. It's still going. I'm like you, hard drive discs. Hard drive discs? Yeah, it's like you like them, but you don't want them. it's a bit like that, isn't it? It's like, I like it, but I don't want to use one. CBM Basic was actually a lifetime license from Microsoft. I don't know if the license was transferred to sale rights. Yeah, I remember using Amiga Basic back in the day. I can't remember anything about it now. I've still got a book about it downstairs, but it's all gone from memory now. 1985 to 2016, that was the 3.1, was it? Mike and Clownworld says 7 MHz. This is 7 MHz. This is the slowest Amiga. Real hard drives are a pain, but I really like to use them in old PCs just for the feel and masochism. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, it's quite funny to have it, and it's nice to hear the noises, but I don't want to go back to it. Is there any easy way to load games without using Kickstart 3.1? I don't know. C64 Forever and Amiga Forever are the two Clone 2 releases decent for the laziness factor? Yeah, it's quite good to have a thing where it's all stuck in there, isn't it, in one place. But there you go, emulation, it's great. I mean, I could do an emulated stream, really. But it'd be a bit boring, wouldn't it? Because I've got the real hardware. I'm just sitting there emulating with the real hardware. I think what I do, actually, I'll say this. What I do miss when I emulate is I don't... One of the things that you really gets, like, breaks you out of the emulation is the fact that when you've got this Amiga, you've got certain keys and stuff like that, like the Amiga keys. And help key, and you might have to press it or something like that, and it's always a bit weird. It's like, oh, where's the Amiga key, which one do I press? And you have to map it and then map it to a weird key on your keyboard. I think that's why that the C64, the bare metal C64 is so good, because it's mounted inside a C64 using the actual keyboard, and you can use the real joysticks. And as far as I'm concerned, it feels exactly like the real thing with a better output. So I think really a lot of the emulation is just about having the keyboard. It's really, that's a lot of it. And there's also the shoving discs in and out thing is quite, you know, that's the thing. It's funny how you get like literally like right back into the action of like shoving the discs in. Like it becomes like a natural reaction. It's not something you do on a normal computer anymore. Nothing beats the real feeling. Yeah, but I think you can emulate inside here and it would be exactly like the real computer. If this was emulated now, I wouldn't know the difference. The keys are a problem. Yeah, I'd forgotten about the keys. Whenever I emulate, I always end up having to go back to the F12 menu and going, what's this key that I'm supposed to press here? How do I do that? The C64 Maxi was a great release. Yeah, that's basically a giant C64 clone, isn't it? Yeah. You could use a second keyboard map specifically to the Amiga keyboard. You can get the what is it? The Keyra thing, which is what I'm using with the bare metal C64. That will take an Amiga 600. It will go in an Amiga 600 or an Amiga 1200, and we'll take the keyboards from that as well, which is pretty cool. I don't know if I've shown the bare metal C64 on my channel, haven't I? But it is really good. I don't use it that much though, but I think if I'm going to play C64 games now, I'll probably play them on that. But I do have real C64s as well, like more of them than I've got Amigas. Where is it? I don't even know where it is. It might be this thing here. Nope, that's a real C64. It's this thing. It is here. It's in this room, the bare metal C64. There are so many C64 games, and there's so many bad ones. We were just talking about like AAA games and all that stuff. The thing about AAA games is they're almost always good. Almost always. Ooh, I just skipped that. Let's skip this one. They're almost always good, but if you go back to the C64 catalogue, there's a lot of rubbish games that people have wiped from their memories like, oh no, all the games were good back in the day. No, they weren't. There was some terrible games. I have a 1TB hard drive on this Pi 4. I do retro emulation as well as watching stuff like this. I still thought you were joking about watching the live stream on here. I didn't know you could do that. What is a Pi? What's in a Pi 4 then? Is it pretty powerful? Comparatively speaking, yeah, there was a lot of games. I should buy finally C64. They're somewhat cheap, at least in comparison to the Amiga. Yeah, and they're pretty good. C64's fun. The Amiga for me feels like a real computer, if you know what I mean. The C64 was a real computer, but the Amiga to me felt like, it feels like it's the the kernel of a modern computer. The essence of what a modern computer is in here. I've got an operating system, I've got a mouse, I've got all the kind of multitasking, I can run loads of programs, I can develop things on it, I can run games on it. It feels like a modern computer still. But the C64 doesn't. The C64 feels like it was the beginning of what, a personal computer could be, but it wasn't quite there yet. Still really good though. I have a Tomitronic tank game emulated. I've never owned a C64, but I loved the Amstrad. After that I had a Sega Master System, but a lot of the arcade ports were rubbish. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a bit unfortunate. I've got Game Gear here, that's basically a Master System. Yeah, the Master System was a weird one, and I think there was people who used to go around the house and they had the Master System. The games were expensive though, weren't they? At least relatively expensive compared to the C64. It's running 2 GHz with 4 gigs of RAM. Oh, that's pretty beefy. I didn't realise that. 2 GHz. Master System had a solid version of Wonder Boy in Monsterland. Amiga version was like 2 FPS. Didn't it have that like Gemini Wing game? That was good. And wasn't Sonic alright on it? I've got Sonic on the Game Gear. I wonder if the Game Gear still works. Should I try it? Right, this is the last thing I'll do before I go to bed. Let's see if the Game Gear still works. Because it's basically a Master System, isn't it? Let's face it. Let's see if you still work. It's been sitting in... I've not left the batteries in it, because that would be a disaster. Didn't I recap the power... I've forgotten what I've done. I recapped the power board on this, didn't I? Here it is. Yay, look at that. It's basically a Master System. That is basically a Master System. Well, I've got to put the batteries in now. I've got the batteries here. Don't leave the batteries in it, because I had to fix one of these that had battery damage, and I don't want to have to go through that again. I did get it working though. This is what I bought this Game Gear from eBay. God, it was so cheap. People just don't like the Game Gear. All my videos on my channel about the Game Gear have got like 4 views. They hate it. Everybody hates the Game Gear. Right, what do you reckon? I'm going to hold it up to the screen. I'm going to turn it on. Do you think it's going to boot? What do you reckon? What's the money on whether it's going to work? Sonic had a bespoke version on the Master System and Game Gear. Here we go, yeah. I've got Sonic in here now. Excellent games by all accounts. Not sure beat the Mega Drive original. No, nothing beat the Mega Drive. No. Sonic is amazing, and Game Gear had a Master System cartridge adapter. You can on a Raspberry Pi for arcade games. Most of my mates had consoles. A few had micros I traded with, but I'm glad I had the experience with the console side. I never actually owned a console until PS3. Not since the 2600. Wow, that's amazing. Game Gear kept Rumblers and Tandies in business for another 5 years with all the battery sales. They probably did, yeah. I never seen a Game Gear in real life. Well, here it is. Here it is. This isn't real life for you, though, is it? It is for me. There is a model with 2 gig, 4 gig, 8 gig, and 16 gig. That better be the Pi, not the Game Gear. This has got 32 kilobytes. Game Gear is the PSP of its day. I think it's the Nintendo Switch of its day, really. It's the first ever like color portable, wasn't it? Color portable games console. I would say, and it takes cartridges just like the Switch. I'd say it's the Switch of its day. 50-50 on whether it's going to boot. My sister's owned a few consoles too, including the Game Gear. That was a fun system. You're going to say, well, definitely boot. You're going to bet your son on it. Remember, I've recapped this, and I can't remember. Did I recap the power board? I think I did. I only had a Mega Drive and CD32X just for a bit. Right, here we go. It's going on. Let's pause. Let's pause this. Here we go. I'm not sure if it's going to boot. It totally boots. Totally boots. You can't see the screen though, can you? Yeah, look at that. I can't play it while you... This is the thing, I'd do live streaming of this if you could just like, literally like... Oh god, I can't even press the start button. You're never going to be able to see the screen. Come on. Totally works. I think that was that. It didn't used to boot because... I was I hadn't recapped the power board. I cannot see. I'm looking at the monitor. I can't play it like that. Oh, it's such a cool little game. The screen is awful. Let's face it. The screen is absolute crap. But it's such a good console. Oh, it's one of the worst things about this. It's just trying to look at that screen. When everything moves, it's horrible. What a great little console, though. I'm seriously considering doing a screen mod on this because I think I would play it. But it's just the screen's truly awful. I'm taking the batteries out already. That was a fun little aside. Let's go back to the Amiga. But yeah, it's a good little console, but it's just the screen ruins it. But for its time, it was amazing. I know there is a screen mod you can do that just puts a modern screen in it. Is it wrong to do that though? Is it wrong? I have a son aged 25. Oh, you've got a son aged 25. You definitely wanted to bet him against it. Like, you can have him. I had one, but I had to sell it. Ah, there you go. Well, I'm taking the batteries out so I don't wreck it. But there you go. It's in pristine condition, this as well. It'd be a shame to wreck it if I modded it and messed it up. It would be a shame. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Also, the batteries last a lot longer when you mod the screen. I might do it. I might do it one day. And actually play this. Actually start using this Game Gear. For now, it just sits around, doesn't do anything. It just doesn't do anything. There you go, we got the Game Gear out. That was a bit of a weird thing. People are modifying Game Boys with newer screens. Yeah. Yeah, so that's my that's what I'm wondering. Should I mod the screen? I know you have to do like I don't think it's that hard, but I think you have to do a lot of soldering. Because you're basically taking the old screen out and taking the old there's a fluorescent tube in there, and you take out one of the transformers that you don't need anymore, and you just put in a modern screen. It would kind of be like taking away the charm of what it was. Do original Game Boys go for much now? Yellow screen, monochrome? No. Oh, right. That's weird. Is it because there were so many Game Boys? You still not got a light on your... Is that on your hard drive? I don't know what the problem is there. I don't know what your problem is. PC Express, was the Switch of its day when you think about it. Is that the PC Engine you're talking about? You should be modded. You'd be happy once it's done. Yeah, I think I would, because I think I'm not going to play that Game Gear. I just can't look at the screen. It's awful. I can't even see what's going on in Sonic most of the time. I just can't see what's going on. You know, I'd probably like take it out with me and play games on it. But if you take that out in daylight, you haven't got a chance. You haven't got a chance of seeing that thing. I would buy a second Game Gear, make one original and a second one, change the screen. Yeah, you know, I could do that because I found that one really cheap on eBay. I probably could find another one that doesn't work and get that to work as well. Yeah, it was a portable PC Engine that played the cards. Yeah, I might have even played on a I've definitely played on a... What's the Neo Geo? I've played on a Neo Geo handheld. I can't remember what that was called. I don't think I played the PC Engine one. But yeah, maybe I'll try and find a second Game Gear and do the mod. Wasn't just a Neo Geo portable. They did like a Nano version. I don't think it was anything like the Neo Geo, but they did a Neo Geo. Was it called Nano or Mini or something? I played on one of them. PC Express was a handheld monster. Never came out in the UK. I think a friend of mine might have had one of those though. He had a PC Engine. I'm not sure if he had the handheld. Can't remember now. Well, the Game Gear looks like a bit of a monster now compared to the Switch, but the Steam Deck's bigger, let's face it. Right. I think it's time. I think it's time to call it a day, because the day is over. Yeah, the Steam Deck, it's massive. So that's the end. You've seen the Game Gear, you've seen the Amiga, you've seen me do some mayhem, you watched the world burn and you enjoyed it, let's face it. We are now on the good morrow. We are on the good morrow now. So it's time for Beddy Bobs. We talked about Meesy Weesies, we did do that. You heard about you upgrading your Amiga, you're getting there. You've put some screws in. You got something to work. You just got to get that light working. Don't know how you're going to do it, but you got to do it somehow. Right, that's the lot. Thanks for tuning in. We might be doing some more mayhem next week. See how far we get with that stuff. I will catch you all in the future. Catch you later.